It's 6 o'clock. I'm Simon Oxley. The headlines: A1 closed in Hertfordshire, Luton man at bedside of Romanian fiancée, and bus driver suspended for disrupting Remembrance Day service.
BBC Three Counties Radio.
The A1M is closed in Hertfordshire after a serious accident last night. The road has been closed in both directions between junctions 4 and 6 since around 8 o'clock last night. The Highways Agency say that the southbound carriageway may reopen around now, but the northbound stretch could be closed until 10 o'clock this morning. Hertfordshire Police have so far not released any details of the incident. A man from Luton is calling for his fiancée, who was injured in a fire at a Romanian nightclub, to be brought back to the UK. 31-year-old Dwayne Mensah has been at the bedside of Romanian-born Elsa Albu for the past 11 days. He says she'll die if she has to stay there. More from Gail Sanderson.
37-year-old Elsa suffered severe burns in the fire, which claimed the lives of 46 people. She's been in an induced coma for the last 11 days. Her fiancé says that at first, Romanian officials said they would pay to fly her back to the UK to get treatment, but they're now reconsidering that offer. He believes Elsa, who's a British resident and taxpayer, will die if she doesn't return home.
A Conservative-dominated committee of MPs has said the Chancellor's proposed changes to tax credits go too far too fast. The Commons Work and Pensions Committee says measures such as the new higher income tax personal allowance and national living wage won't help the worst affected claimants. Police in Watford say they're treating Monday morning's fire at a bed and breakfast in the town as suspicious. 26 people were evacuated from Phoenix Lodge in St Albans Road just after 5:30am. A 2-minute silence will be observed across the United Kingdom at 11 o'clock today, Armistice Day, in memory of all those who fought and died for Britain in conflict since the start of the First World War. Among the ceremonies to mark Armistice Day will be one at the Cenotaph in central London, where veterans and their families will be joined by military leaders. Meanwhile, a bus driver who disrupted a remembrance service on Sunday in Cranfield in Bedfordshire has been suspended. The bus was heading to Milton Keynes when it ended up on the edge of the crowd at the service. The incident was filmed by a member of the public who posted it online. These residents say the driver should have stopped and waited.
It's a long-standing British tradition that at 11 o'clock on Remembrance Sunday, everything stops, and that should include buses. And he shouldn't be hooting his horn at people, because he's had to stop.
It was a job's worth. It was silly. He was told by the police to stop, and he didn't.
In sport, a senior official in Russian athletics has acknowledged that his organisation does have a problem with doping. Mikhail Butov, the General Secretary of the All-Russia Athletic Federation, was responding to a damning report by an independent commission that accused his country's sportsmen and women of widespread state-sponsored cheating. The weather mostly dry and mild with a few bright or sunny intervals, a maximum temperature 15 degrees Celsius, and you can get the latest news and sport online at bbc.co.uk/3 counties.
If you think you've heard today's show before already, you have. We did it yesterday and the day before that. Apologies. Now where's my iPod? There he is. Thank you. Thank you.
Spreading wisdom and
Morning, guys. Iain Lee, BBC Three Counties Radio.
Across beds, hearts and bucks.
This is BBC Three Counties Radio.
Well, it's a story that we did yesterday, and the second story is one that we did a couple of days ago. But hey ho, we'll recycle. You know, it's very fashionable to be green, and so we shall recycle. Administrators have placed Penn's special school up for sale with an asking price of £6 million. You'll know because you listened to it yesterday. The Rayners Special Educational Trust is bound by law to donate any profits to children with communication difficulties, the sort of kids the school was educating until this summer's sudden closure. Just remind us why the school shut.
OK, so the school was run by a registered charity, the Rayners Special Education Trust, and it was placed in special measures by Ofsted in May 2013. Now, since then, pupil placements fell, although it was still described as a going concern in its 2014 accounts. The trouble was local authorities are not allowed to send children to non-maintained schools in special measures unless there are exceptional circumstances. So the councils were less inclined to place pupils at the school, and this, coupled with the economic downturn and the fact all councils are looking to save money, made the situation really difficult for Penn School, which relied on local authorities for income as well as donations. So in April 2015, the trustees were informed that pupil numbers for the coming autumn term were due to drop to 50, which meant that the school was not financially sustainable. So the charity had no cash reserves, only funds to cover operating costs. And the charity's run that school since purchasing from Camden Council in December 2001.
And now the site is being sold.
Yeah, estate agents Knight Frank have put it on the market. They put it on the market at the end of October with this guide price of £6 million. The company says it will accept offers up till mid-December, and that the school has potential for alternative uses subject to necessary consent. It's available as a whole or as separate lots. We spoke to Emma Clue, who's head of Knight Frank Institutional Consultancy, and she told us this property is a rare opportunity combining scale and an excellent residential location with the potential for a range of uses in development subject to the necessary consent.
Gee, that's what we need at 6:10.
Yeah, I know.
Is estate agent speak. What will happen to the proceeds of the sale?
Well, according to the Penn School website, if the charity has to be wound up or dissolved, after all its debts and liabilities have been dealt with, there are specific instructions as to what should be done with any remaining funds. These must be put towards advancing the education and relief of people, principally children and young adults with communication difficulties. None of the trustees or governors of Penn School would benefit in any way from the sale of the school and its assets. All of the trustees and governors have worked on a voluntary unpaid basis and have received no payment or stand to gain from the sale of Penn School and its assets. If there was enough to pay all the creditors, there'd be no obligation to dissolve the trust. It could be restored at any time.
Let's just make this clear. There's no suggestion of any wrongdoing, is there?
Well,
no. We said that there was no.
No, I know. But the thing is, many of the parents feel very aggrieved by a lack of communication throughout this process from the trustees. And we as a radio station, we've been really vocal about this. We've been met with silence and it's been frustrating. But they don't have to speak to us. It's been really distressing for the families, though. And some of them have been wondering out loud and online what the trust has to hide. But as far as we and indeed the Charity Commission, which regulates charities, can see, there's no suggestions at all of any dark motives for that silence. And we spoke to the Commission yesterday. They told us the administrators appointed by the court are now winding up the charity, and we will continue to offer any advice they need in relation to the process. We remain aware of the distress caused by the school's closure. You know, as for us, we promised the families that we'd follow the money trail on this one, and we will keep that promise.
Oh, no,
Can you
there
make
we
a
go.
tune?
There we go.
You can sing a tune. You can play a tune on an instrument.
Something sweet, like those bubbles bursting off the backbeat. Everybody up, no need to come down. Everybody up, up, no need to come down.
Can you make a tune?
Can't help smiling every time I come. Stardust sparkles flying up my tongue. Most I hear through loving, that's a fact. A little death or maybe a heart attack. Everybody up, no need to come down.
travel news for beds, cards and bugs.
BBC Three Counties Radio.
The A1M is closed northbound between junction 4 for Hertford and 6 for Welwyn because of an accident that happened last night. It was closed both ways overnight, but there's just one lane closed southbound through that stretch now, but delays are from junction 7 for Stevenage towards junction 4 for Welwyn Garden City. On the M25 anti-clockwise, it's busy from junction 18 for Chorleywood to 17 for Maple Cross, and in Neasden on the North Circular Road, it's slow westbound from the M1 at Staples Corner towards the Neasden interchange through the roadworks. On the trains, there's no reported problems, but there are some delays on the Underground. The Jubilee line has severe delays between Stanmore and Wembley Park, and there's no service on the Metropolitan line between Uxbridge and Baker Street. Samantha Bruff, BBC Three Counties Radio.
Thank you very much, Sammy. 6:16, these are your headlines on BBC Three Counties Radio. The A1M is closed in Hertfordshire after a serious accident last night. The road has been closed in both directions between junction 4 and 6 since around 8 o'clock last night. A man from Luton is calling for his fiancée, who was injured in a fire at a Romanian nightclub, to be brought back to the UK. And a 2-minute silence will be observed across the United Kingdom at 11 o'clock today.
Every weekday morning.
Isn't it nice to have a good discussion about things in a polite way?
My opinion is...
You make a very valid point.
As long as the person can do the job, I don't care.
Hence, I'm saying she's completely out of touch.
It doesn't always happen like that, though, does it?
Well, if you let me speak, I'll let you know what they are then.
Well, that don't prove that an accident's been caused, does it?
The JVS Show.
My big phone in every morning from 9 gets everybody talking.
First of all, I congratulate you. You got a very good topic on this morning. I'd like to share some experiences.
I'm not going to respond to that statement because I find that quite inflammatory.
The JVS Show. Weekdays from 9 on BBC Three Counties Radio.
In my mind, I'm gone to Carolina. Can't you see the sunshine? Can't you just feel the moonshine? And ain't it just like a friend of mine to hit me from behind? Yes, I'm gone to Carolina in my mind. Karen, she's a silver sun. You best walk her away and watch it shining. Watch her watch the morning come. A silver tear appearing now. I'm crying, ain't I? Gone to Carolina in my mind. There ain't no doubt in no one's mind that love's the finest thing around. Whisper something soft and kind. And hey babe, the sky's on fire. I'm dying, ain't I? I'm gone to Carolina in my mind. In my mind, I'm gone to Carolina. Can't you see the sunshine? Can't you just feel the moonshine? Ain't it just like a friend of mine to hit me from behind? Yes, I'm gone to Carolina in my mind. Dark and silent late last night, I think I might have heard the highway calling. Geese in flight and dogs that bite. The signs that might be omens say I'm going, I'm gone to Carolina in my mind. With a holy host of others standing around me, still I'm on the dark side of the moon. And it seems like it goes on like this forever. You must forgive me if I'm up and gone to Carolina in my mind. In my mind, I'm gone to Carolina. Can't you see the sunshine? Can't you just feel the moonshine? Ain't Ain't he just like a friend of mine to hit me from behind? Yes, I'm gone to Carolina in my mind. Gone to Carolina in my mind. And I'm gone to Carolina in my mind. Gone to Carolina in my mind. Gone, I'm gone.
The only place that goes from that to this.
Morning. I mean, where else are you going to get that?
Music to make lunch to? Where is that jingle, by the way? I've been
That's
looking.
Music to make lunch to.
Beautiful,
Don't
beautiful.
don't tell him we found them, otherwise they're not ours to play with.
Was one of those mine, though? Every song has a memory. Was that one of mine?
No, these are...
Every song has a memory.
Is that mine?
No. That's,
Who's that made for, then?
All of these belong to Mr. Nicholas Coffington.
Because I do that. Every song has a memory.
Well,
he's nicking my act.
The thing is, I do music across the decades. As you know, it's a great feature we do at 7:30 every morning, and then I find this.
Across the decades, across beds, hearts and bugs.
You see? I suppose the difference there is he's crossing time and space. I just cross time, and that's the... Now, a bus driver... This is Monday's story, guy. A bus driver has been suspended pending an investigation into his behaviour in Cranfield on Remembrance Sunday. We posted the video of this on the Facebook page, and it's divided people, I would say, pretty much down the middle. Uno buses... have reacted to allegations that he attempted to force his way down a road closed for commemorations. Justin, you've been looking into this.
Yeah.
What more do we know about what happened on Sunday?
Well, hundreds of people have marched from the Cross Keys pub to the High Street, to the War Memorial there, next to the Swan pub, to pay their respects. The road had been closed for some time before the start of the parade, and there was a sign there as well to alert drivers that the road was going to be closed. But a passenger who was actually on the bus says that the bus driver missed the sign and simply made a mistake. We all make mistakes, don't we?
Don't we just? But you get the poppy fascist. Oh, I'm impartial. Hang on.
And somebody's recorded this video, and of course, they talk about how outrageous it was, but the people in the video, again, making lots of noise during that 2-minute silence.
It's disgusting.
Yeah, that's what we heard.
It's disgusting.
That's what we heard on the video, and people going up to the driver as well. So the driver continued to make his way to the War Memorial, despite police community support officers trying to stop him. The bus in question was the C11 Uno, which runs from Milton Keynes to Marston Mortain via Cranfield. Duncan Hogban, who lives in Cranfield, describes what happened next.
As the 2-minute silence was starting, the bus showed up at the junction of the Swan and the War Memorial, and the police officers told him to turn the engine off and wait, which he obviously refused to do. And then during the 2-minute silence, he started sounding his horn. When the 2-minute silence had finished, obviously somebody then started filming it on their phone, which is what people can see on Facebook. And the driver was just disrespectful to the entire village. And he was told he'd go down Court Road, but I believe he was asked to just silence his engine whilst the 2-minute silence was on.
He was disrespectful to the entire village. If you've ever dissed an entire village, town or city, 03459 455 or a country.
The video has been online and has been viewed nearly 180,000 times. So it's certainly doing the rounds, been on our Facebook page and the Daily Mail's online page as well.
And? Do I say that or do you say that?
No, I say it's fair to say that there has been a great deal of anger about what happened on Sunday.
Okay, I was just a bit here about that some people have said the bus driver tried to plough into the crowd, but that's not true.
There's no point even mentioning that, to be fair.
Duncan's not alone in thinking the bus driver was being disrespectful.
Yeah, I mean, it's fair to say that there's been a great deal of anger about what happened on Sunday in Cranfield. Villagers, they are demanding, again, we're talking about a whole village here. The village is demanding an apology from the driver. One resident told us the driver would not be welcome in the village again. Here's what these people told us at the Cross Keys pub.
I think it's absolutely outrageous what he did. It's a long-standing British tradition that at 11 o'clock on Remembrance Sunday, everything stops, and that should include buses. And he shouldn't be hooting his horn at people, because he's had to stop.
It was a job's worth. It was silly. He was told by the police to stop, and he didn't. And he could have gone round Court Road anyway.
Which he
eventually did.
He's a job's worth. What are you lot? He's a poor bloke trying to earn a few quid. He'll be getting rubbish pay. And there's a whole village out for him with pitchforks and flaming torches.
Can I just say as well, if you watch the video, and again, I wasn't there. I'm only going on what the video shows me. But the police support officers, they don't stand in front of the bus.
No, they have a word with him.
Yeah, they have a word, and he carries on.
You want to stop him, you stand in front, hand out. That's universal gesture for buses stop.
They didn't stop him.
What have Uno said? Now, I'm imagining that Uno, being a big company, have stood by their employees and are defending them to the hilt. That's what normally happens.
No. They would like to wholeheartedly apologise for any upset or disruption caused by our driver's actions on Sunday. The driver in question has now been suspended pending a full investigation. And they also say, as an expression of our regret, Uno will be making a donation to the Royal British Legion's Poppy Appeal.
I do hate it when big organisations give in to bullies. I really do. This is a bloke trying to earn a few quid, and he's made a little mistake.
Yeah.
Haven't we all? And he's now suspended. Poor fella. Well, OK, Justin, thank you very much. 03459 455 555. Alan Toussaint died.
Yes.
Who? Well, he was kind of... he was a famous singer-songwriter and producer. He also wrote one of my favourite Glenn Campbell songs.
Southern Nights.
Let's Be Having You. Oh, hang on a minute. Why is my thing's not working today? I'm being all slick. Where's my Glenn Campbell?
Southern. Do you want me to sing it for you?
No, I'd really...
Sure? I don't mind.
I'd really rather you didn't,
Okay.
actually. If I'm honest. Here we go. I've got the right thing plugged in. Hang on a minute. Here we go. Now, he also wrote one of my favourite Glenn Campbell songs, Southern Nights. There we go. We're good.
Southern nights. Have you ever felt a southern night? Free as a breeze, not to mention the trees, whistling tunes that you know and love so. Southern nights, just as good even when closed your eyes. I apologize to anyone who can truly say that he has found a better way. Southern skies, have you ever noticed southern skies? Well, its precious beauty lies just beyond the eye. It goes running through the soul like the stories told of old. Old man, he and his dog that walked the old land. Every flower touched his cold hand as he slowly walked by. Weeping willows cry for joy. Feels so good. It feels so good. It's frightening. Wish I could stop this world from fighting. Mystery like this and many others in the trees, glow in the night in the southern sky. Southern night.
Oh, I've just found another great Alan Toussaint song. Have you heard the Boz Scaggs album, Silk Degrees?
No.
Oh, mate. I've got it on CD, and it's such a good album. I've just spent £6 buying it on iTunes. It's such a good album. Do you know what? We're going to have two. Who'd have thought it, guys? We're going to have two Boz Scaggs. You try saying that, 6:30 in the morning. Two Boz Scaggs songs when we get back after this.
Travel news for beds, cards and bugs.
BBC Three Counties Radio.
The A1M is closed northbound between junction 4 for Hertford and 6 for Welwyn because of an accident and investigation work, but southbound there's just one lane closed between junction 6 for Welwyn and 4 for Hertford, but it's causing delays from junction 7 for Stevenage. On the M1 southbound, a lorry's broken down between junction 12 for Flitwick and the Toddington services. It's blocking 2 lanes at the moment, so queues are starting to build up on the approach. And the M25 is slow anti-clockwise between junction 21 for the M1 and 19 for Watford. In Neasden, on the North Circular Road, it's very slow westbound approaching the Neasden interchange from the M1. And on the trains there's no major delays, but on the underground there's no service on the Metropolitan line from Uxbridge, Baker Street or Wickhamsworth to Uxbridge, Watford and towards Baker Street, and the Jubilee line has minor delays between Stanmore and Wembley Park. Samantha Bruff, BBC Three Counties Radio.
Across beds, hearts and bugs.
This is BBC Three Counties Radio.
With the headlines, I'm Simon Oxley. As we've been hearing, the A1M is closed in Hertfordshire after a serious accident last night. The road was closed in both directions between junction 4 and 6 at around 8 o'clock last night. The motorway has now reopened southbound, although one lane remains closed. The Highways Agency say the northbound stretch could be closed until 10 o'clock this morning. Hertfordshire Police have so far not released any details of the incident. A man from Luton is calling for his fiancée, who was injured in a fire at a Romanian nightclub, to be brought back to the UK, and a 2-minute silence will be observed across the United Kingdom at 11 o'clock today, Armistice Day.
Three Counties Sports.
BBC Three Counties Radio.
One of the heads of Russian athletics has acknowledged that the country does have a problem with doping. Mikhail Butov, the General Secretary of the All-Russia Athletic Federation, was responding to the damning report by an independent commission which accused his country's sportsmen and women of widespread cheating. Here's Richard Lister.
Russian officials have been angrily dismissive of the allegations made by a World Anti-Doping Agency panel. The Kremlin's called them groundless. But in what appeared to be a change in tone, Mikhail Butov told Newsnight that Russia knew it had a problem with doping. He blamed what he called the mentality of many coaches and said Russia's Athletics Federation had rolled out new educational programmes in April. But he added that to ban Russia from international competition, including the Olympics, would hurt a new generation of clean athletes.
In football, Luton gave a trial to a non-league striker in yesterday's 3-2 development squad defeat to Milton Keynes Dons. Vaz Karagiannis has scored 15 goals for Leatherhead this season. Tom Hitchcock and Rob Hall were among the Dons scorers at Stadium MK. Boreham Wood were 2-1 winners at Bromley in the National League last night. Luke Howell scored both goals in the opening 11 minutes. Stevenage striker Dipo Akinyemi has joined Aldershot on a 1-month loan deal. The teenager has featured 18 times for the Borough this season. Elsewhere, Blackburn Gary Bowyer has become the 8th Championship manager to be sacked this season, and England's cricketers start their 4-match one-day series against Pakistan in Abu Dhabi this morning. BBC Three Counties News and Sport, the next full bulletin at 7.
Right, thank you very much indeed. So you never heard Boz Scaggs, Silk
Not
Degrees?
really, no.
What an album. What an album. It's a masterpiece. You might know the second one. You might know the song Lido Shuffle. I think that was a hit. Okay.
I don't know how it goes.
Okay. Well, you'll know in a bit. Let's play the Alan Toussaint song he did first, which is incredible, and then.
So you think the girl's crazy? She eat up your lives like it's good. She don't even cry. She's not a fool. She's just trying to do what her heart says to love you. And as you take to the winning, and as she breaks down within, she waits for you patiently, hoping that someday you'll see all she really wants to be is yours and yours alone eternally. What do you want to waits for you patiently, hoping that someday you'll see that all she really wants to be is yours and yours alone eternally. What do you want the girl to do? Can't you see a breaking child or two? All she really wants is you. What do you want the girl to do? Don't you know you're making a child too? What do you want the girl to do?
Huh?
It's good, yeah.
Huh?
Yeah.
Right, okay. Well, that's not right. Then we go to.
No, I liked it.
No, then we go to the next one of my box of tricks. That doesn't work. This'll work. This'll work.
Lido missed the boat that day. He left the shack, but that was all he missed, and he ain't coming back. At a tombstone bar in a juke joint car, he made a stop, just long enough to grab a handle off the top. Next stop, Chi-Town. Lido put the money down and let him roll. He said, one more job ought to get it, one last shot before we quit it. One for the road, Lido. Whoa, he's for the money, he's for the show. Lido's waiting for the goal, Lido. Whoa, he said, one more job ought to get it, one last shot before we quit it, one more for the road. Lido be running, having great big fun until he got the note saying toe the line or blow, and that was all she wrote. He'd be making like a feline, heading for the borderline, going for broke, saying one more hit ought to do it. This joint ain't nothing to it. One more for the road, Lido. Whoa, he's for the money, he's for the show. Lido's waiting for the goal, Lido. Whoa, one more job ought to get it, one last shot when we quit it, one more for the road. He's for the money, he's for the show. Lido's waiting for the goal, Lido.
Yeah, I like that one. I kind of know that one, I think.
Yeah, I think that's everyone kind of kind of knows that one. What you got in the papers, is it?
Well, apparently one council is going to extreme lengths to catch people who let their dogs poop without scooping.
Oh, yeah. But one of the great joys of being a dog owner... No, hang on a second. One of the great humiliations of being a dog owner is having to walk around and pick up warm, steaming turds. That's what they are, and constantly have to do it. And I always have bags that are too big. I have big, flip bin bags.
Well, best to have one that's too big than too small.
Well, no, but instead of having the tiny little bag and you've got it and it's nicely subtly done, put it in your pocket to warm you up, I have these massive transparent bags.
Blimey. Transparent?
Yeah. Well, they're
like a freezer bag?
They're opaque. Some are like freezer bags.
I think we all know what's in them anyway. If you're walking along with a bag in your hand with a dog,
it is humiliating. But you do it, and you've got a real smug sense of I've done a little bit for society. And here's the thing that dog owners don't tell you, and I'm going to be the first dog owner to tell you this.
Go on.
You can't pick it all up because it's sticky. So there is a trail left there. You can't. And at first I thought, I've done.
You mean
this.
a skid?
Yes, there is most definitely. It is there for you. So you're not cleaning it all up.
No, but still, you're getting the bulk of it.
You're certainly getting the bulk of it. That is absolutely spot on. Yeah.
And as a kid, I was always the one that walked through it. So on behalf of kids like that, thank you.
I'm stopping kids going blind.
You are.
I am.
But these guys, talking of going blind, this council's using night vision goggles. I mean,
wowzers!
Just go out in the day. I mean, I thought we were not spending.
No.
They're more often seen being used to track down villains in espionage thrillers on the big screen. No, on the big screen they're used by perverts almost exclusively, aren't they?
I don't think I've seen those films.
The night vision goggle films?
Yeah.
I'll lend you some. The gadgets have become the latest weapon in the war on dog fouling. They've not. Wardens will be using the equipment while patrolling parks at night to make sure they're not left in the dark over owners who do not clear up their dog's mess. Do you think people go out under cover of darkness specifically to avoid picking up poo?
Well, there was a young lady who used to work here. Was it Emma? Was that her name?
Oh, yeah.
Who used to pretend to pick up the dog fecal matter. Used to bend down, mind picking it up, so that people were watching would think, oh, she's nice, she's cleaned up.
Because I do check,
Dog's whoopsie. And then she would just leave it there.
Yeah, but she's not going out in the dark to do that. She was doing that in plain sight, wasn't she?
She was just doing that in absolute plain sight. It was an outrageous.
Well, Stafford Borough Council's apparently spent £400 on these night vision goggles because it reckons that they might be nighttime poopers.
Well, I mean, it's just
flipping heck.
It's just outrageous. If you've again, it's I keep thinking back to that bus driver, and the fact that the whole village.
Is it the whole village, though?
There'll be pictures on the entrance. How many entrances does a village have? Normally 2. If it's a proper village, it'll have 2, in and out. That's it. And there'll be posters. This man. If you spot this man, then ring the alarm. It'll be like the scene in the end of the remake of Invasion of the Body Snatchers, where Mr. Spock goes up to Donald Sutherland and goes, "Oh, thank goodness I found you. I've missed you." And it turns out Donald Sutherland is one of them, and he points at him and goes,
"Oh my!"
Spoiler alert. When does a spoiler alert stop being a spoiler alert? That film's...
When you do it after you've spoilt it?
Well, that film's 40 years old. I mean, what's the...
Oh, the timeline?
Yeah, what yes.
I reckon a week. Look, if you're going to see it and
a
not spoil...
week?
Yeah. Films
No.
films at the cinema. If it's been out a week and you've not been to see it, tough.
Well, that means someone can phone up and tell me that Bond isn't very good this time around.
Spoiler alert, they already have.
Wowzers.
Travel news for beds, cards and bugs.
BBC Three Counties Radio.
The A1M is closed northbound between junction 4 for Hertford and 6 for Welwyn because of an accident and the investigation work that's going on. So the diversion's via the B197 to Welwyn, and there's one lane closed southbound between junction 6 for Welwyn and 4 for Hertford, which is causing a delay from junction 7 for Stevenage. On the M1, there are queues southbound between junction 12 for Flitwick and the Toddington services after a lorry broke down earlier, but all the lanes are back open again. On the M25, it's busy anti-clockwise between junction 21 for the M1 and 19 for Watford. And it's also slow on the North Circular Road in Neaston, approaching the Neaston interchange from the M1. On the trains, there's no reported problems, but there are on the Underground. The Metropolitan line has no service from Uxbridge, Watford or Rickmansworth to Baker Street, and there's minor delays on the Jubilee line between Stanmore and Wembley Park. It's because of a signal failure at Wembley Park. Samantha Bruff, BBC Three Counties Radio.
Thank you, Sammy. These are your headlines on BBC Three Counties Radio. The A1M is closed in Hertfordshire after a serious accident last night. The road is still closed northbound between junctions 4 and 6, although police have yet to release any details. A man from Luton is calling for his fiancée who was injured in a fire at a Romanian nightclub to be brought back to the UK. And a 2-minute silence will be observed across the United Kingdom at 11 o'clock today, Armistice Day. Make sure you're not driving a bus.
Beds, Hearts and Bucks weather.
BBC Three Counties Radio.
Another mild start this morning with temperatures all in double figures between 12 and 14 Celsius. There's a lot of cloud around though, and that cloud is going to stay with us. The chance of maybe a spot of rain, perhaps to higher ground, but most places staying dry. Not much brightness, but it is still breezy. Temperatures getting up to around 15 Celsius by the end of the afternoon. Overnight tonight, we will have a little bit of rain pushing south through the first part, but it would clear through the early hours of tomorrow morning and clear the cloud as well. So a much cooler night, 7 Celsius the minimum, and a bright start tomorrow. More sunshine, but it is going to feel a little bit chilly tomorrow morning compared to the last few days. We are going to get some sun in the morning, but then clouding over as we head through tomorrow afternoon. Maximum temperature for Thursday, 15 Celsius.
Nick Coffer on BBC Three Counties Radio.
History coming up very shortly with the brilliant Dan Hill. He's a local historian.
Silversworth, amongst other things, has got quite a rich history. As it's further east, there is a lot more influence with regards to things like air raids.
Weekdays from 12.
Great music as well coming up here on BBC Three Counties Radio. Freddie Mercury, The Great Pretender. Go West as well on its way. First though, here's T-Rex.
Nick Coffer.
You know, it's fantastic to be able to get, people like Nathan Bell and Gary Matthew and, experienced but still early on in their careers, giving them the opportunity to come and make music in a lovely environment. Luton Library Theatre.
Could you describe modern Britain in 50 records? Stuart McConey is doing just that in his book.
I don't think you're ever going to get another Beatles who dominate the pop cultures.
Nick Coffer, weekdays from 12 on BBC Three Counties Radio.
I'll start again, and then you'll understand.
So Asda have decided not to be involved in Black Friday. And which
or
is
Fight Friday.
Yeah, they just showed some footage of it on the telly. I ain't having the telly. Why would you have a telly on in a radio studio? It was a radio studio anyway. And they just showed some footage of a load of old horrible, I'm going to say it, common people. They're common people bursting through the door of some shop from the last Black Friday, and there's about 40 of them rush in, right? And then there's a fat woman on a little electric buggy. That's the noise of the buggy. And then people piling in behind her and tripping over and stuff like
Didn't
that.
someone get bitten round here last time?
Someone got bitten round somewhere.
I mean,
Somewhere you don't want to get bitten. That happened.
These are all like tellies with no make on as well. I mean, tellies you wouldn't think about buying any other time.
Kodak make tellies now, and you could get one for a tenner. Yeah, it's a Kodak telly. Where's Kodak anymore?
Yeah.
Whose dad used to own Kodak?
Oh, Linda McCartney's.
That's correct. Linda
Yeah.
McCartney. There we go. You see, well done. Congratulations, guys.
Do I win £5?
No, but I tell you what, I'm getting loads of people tweeting me this, and I just saw it in the paper, so we will mention it.
Go on.
It turns out I chose the wrong side in the Betamax VHS wars.
Oh, God, yeah, no.
I got the.
I thought we knew that like 20 years ago.
Yeah, well, I got beaten up at school because of the video recorder I had. Yeah, I had a video recorder before everyone else, literally before everyone else in my school. It was stolen. I mean, the one that we had was stolen property. My dad bought a stolen Betamax video recorder, and we had to hide it behind the sofa, and I wasn't allowed to. No, you're not allowed to tell anyone about this, son.
Because it's lucky.
I'm 7. Because I told everyone. Got video recorders behind the sofa. Stolen. Brilliant. Great days. It was massive. It was 2. It was supposed to be portable, right? It was 2. Was it the first or the second one? The first one died. Anyway, it was 2 massive suitcases on top of each other.
Wow.
And so the top suitcase was the tuner and where the cassette went, and that had all the record stuff. The bottom suitcase was the tuner, so that was where the TV channels were.
Right.
And the top suitcase was the recorder. And in theory, it was portable. You could take the top bit off and carry it around with you.
Well, it was too portable for the person who bought it in the first place.
If you were Jeff Capes, you could. Blimey, wait a ton.
Top loader, I take it.
Of course it was. Was. Didn't get a front loader until... didn't get a front loader, right, until I went to university in 1994.
I had our old video. I had my own. I had 2 places before it died. It was an amazing piece of equipment. JVC worked fine. You had to do the tracking on a little wheel at the bottom.
I love the tracking.
And it lasted for flipping years, longer than my modern ones do.
I just chucked. I've still got a VHS recorder at home. I just chucked 2 massive VHS video recorders in the bin, right? So it means up until last week I had 3 VHS video recorders, but the ones I chucked away, they were. Well, I just looked on eBay and one's gone for like £200.
What? Oh dear.
Because they were like multi-region. Anyway, they don't matter. Anyway, the long slow death of the Betamax cassette. Once the byword for high quality video, they were better quality.
They were broadcast quality, weren't they?
They were broadcast quality. I remember there used to be on the Farnham Road. One side of Farnham Road, Video City, brackets VHS. The other side of the Farnham Road, Video City, brackets Betamax.
Okay, tiny.
No, it was a full shop. Didn't last long.
Oh, dear.
It then became half of... It then just became Video City.
Mm-hmm.
And then it just became like a corner. And then one day I went and said, where's the Betamax videos? Got rid of them.
Get out.
Do you want to buy some? So I bought a load of...
oh, right.
I bought a load of Bruce Lee videos. They were X. Bought them at the age of 10. X's at the age of 10.
What does X stand for?
18.
Oh.
X-rated.
Oh.
What does X stand for?
Well, I just thought, I've heard of X-rated, but I'd never seen it written on anything.
X. First X film you've ever seen? 03459 455 555. Anyway, Sony announced it's not going to be producing Betamax anymore.
I didn't know they were still producing them, did you?
No. Betamax was first released in 1975, costing about £5,500 in today's money. Anyway, it was Sony were greedy. And they didn't want to share it with anyone else. So anyway.
Signs you were rich in the 1980s. You had a video,
or hook it, or you had a criminal dad.
Exactly. You had a video. You had a toaster. No grill pans for us, thank you. We're right posh.
I never had a toaster.
We used to think if once we got a toaster, we knew we'd arrived.
Didn't get a toaster until I went to university. University was a whole world of decadence. And I missed the fires you'd get in the grill.
Yeah.
The grill at the top of the cooker. What a great design. Cooker, flat back, grill coming out. You get fires in there, fat fires. Beautiful, beautiful fat fires. And they were filthy.
My granddad used to cook on those, and it was, I think, better.
I think it was better.
Because I think it was like the dirt and grime that used to build up on there. Yeah,
it's like a wok.
Exactly.
One of the very few things the Chinese have got right is woks.
Don't clean them.
Don't clean it.
No.
Oh, what are you doing? I've just had a wok. You just don't clean. You clean my wok.
Yeah. I learned that from Dave Chung.
Who?
Dave Chung, who I used to live with.
Oh, you mentioned Dave Chung, isn't it?
Dave Kwon Keen Chung. Iron Fist, his middle name.
That's the thing about the Chinese. They've got some great names, and
they stick Dave on it.
I think it was Confucius who first said, "Oh, I won't do the voice.
No.
Don't clean another man's wok.
No.
It's like don't park in another man's drive.
Don't do that."
Oh, what must play is a brilliant.
What else did Confucius say?
I've got to play a brilliant Tony Farina song. I keep meaning to play it. He steals other men's wives. He parks in other men's drives.
Bet he flipping does.
Confucius said a load of stuff.
Yeah, some of it wise, some of it...
I imagine Confucius to be fat, but not many Chinese were fat.
No.
There's a thing. We could learn a lesson or two from them.
Mm.
Okay, well,
wise words, mate. Wise words.
1 down, 2 to go. 03459 455 555.
Travel news for beds, cards and bugs.
BBC Three Counties Radio.
The A1 is still closed northbound. A1M is still closed northbound between junction 4 for Hertford and 6 for Welling because of an accident that happened last night and the investigation work's going on at the moment. There's still a lane closed southbound in that stretch, which is causing delays from junction 8 for Hitchin. On the M1, there are queues southbound between junction 12 for Flitwick and the Toddington services after a lorry broke down there earlier. And on the M25, it's busy anti-clockwise between junction 17 for Maple Cross and 16 for the M40. On the A1 southbound approaching the Black Cat roundabout, there are delays from the St Neots junction. And also the A6 Bedford Road in Clop Hill is very busy southbound between Back Street and the A507. On the trains, there's no major delays showing up at the moment, but on the London Underground, the Metropolitan line has no service from Uxbridge, Watford or Rickmansworth to Baker Street because of a signal problem at Wembley Park. Samantha Bruff, BBC Three Counties Radio.
Sammy, thank you very much indeed. So, there's a bus driver, there's a whole village want to lynch him. When have you upset a family, a street, a village, a town, a city or a country? 03459 455 555.
Local and vocal across beds, hearts and bucks.
This is BBC Three Counties Radio.
It's 7 o'clock. I'm Simon Oxley. The headlines: A1M closed in Hertfordshire, Luton man at bedside of Romanian fiancé, and bus driver suspended for disrupting Poppy Day service.
BBC Three Counties Radio.
The A1M is closed in Hertfordshire after a serious accident last night. The road was closed in both directions between junctions 4 and 6 at around 8 o'clock. The motorway has now reopened southbound, although one lane remains closed. The Highways Agency say the northbound stretch could be closed until 10 o'clock this morning. Hertfordshire Police have so far not released any details. The Roads Police Unit say they can only describe it as a very serious incident. A man from Luton is calling for his fiancée, who was injured in a fire at a Romanian nightclub, to be brought back to the UK. 31-year-old Dwayne Mensah has been at the bedside of Romanian-born Elsa Albu for the past 11 days. He says she will die if she has to stay there. More from Gail Sanderson.
37-year-old Elsa suffered severe burns in the fire, which claimed the lives of 46 people. She's been in an induced coma for the last 11 days. Her fiancé says that at first, Romanian officials said they would pay to fly her back to the UK to get treatment, but they're now reconsidering that offer. He believes Elsa, who's a British resident and taxpayer, will die if she doesn't return home.
A Conservative-dominated committee of MPs has said the Chancellor's proposed changes to tax credits go too far too fast. The Commons Work and Pensions Committee says measures such as the new higher income tax personal allowance and national living wage won't help the worst affected claimants. Police in Watford say they're treating Monday morning's fire at a bed and breakfast in the town as suspicious. 26 people were evacuated from Phoenix Lodge in St Albans Road just after 5:30 a.m. A 2-minute silence will be observed across the United Kingdom at 11 o'clock today, Armistice Day, in memory of all those who fought and died for Britain in conflicts since the start of the First World War. Meanwhile, a bus driver who disrupted a remembrance service on Sunday in Cranfield in Bedfordshire has been suspended. The bus was heading to Milton Keynes. The incident was filmed by a member of the public who posted it online. These residents say the driver should have stopped and waited.
It's a long-standing British tradition that at 11 o'clock on Remembrance Sunday, everything stops, and that should include buses. And he shouldn't be hooting his horn at people because he's had to stop.
It was a job's worth. It was silly. He was told by the police to stop, and he didn't.
In sport, a senior official in Russian athletics has acknowledged his organisation does have a problem with doping. Mikhail Butov, the General Secretary of the All-Russia Athletic Federation, was responding to a damning report by an independent commission that accused his country's sportsmen and women of widespread state-sponsored cheating. The weather mostly dry and mild with a few bright or sunny intervals, a maximum temperature 15 degrees Celsius. And you can get the latest news and sport online at bbc.co.uk/3 counties.
This is Iain Lee
on BBC Three Counties Radio.
Last week on the show, I interviewed the Reverend Barry Trahorn and solicitor Libby Powell about their understanding of biblical teaching on homosexuality. I want to make it clear that I apologise for any offence that may have been caused over the way I conducted the interviews. So, if you've ever upset a family, I want to find the person who's upset the most people in one go, apart from me, obviously. A family, if you've upset a whole street, that for some reason you can't go down a certain street or into a certain village or a town or a city, or, for goodness sakes, are you barred from a country? 03 459 455 555. That's the telephone number. That's the number. Well, because of this bus driver, there's a whole village is out for his blood. They're wandering the streets with banners and flaming torches and pitchforks. That's the fellas. Or Pikachus. I don't know. Whatever would be the more terrifying. 03 459 455 555.
across beds, hearts and bucks.
This is BBC Three Counties Radio.
You must have upset... why don't you go back north anymore?
I've upset them too much by being like proper posh and that.
Alan Davis upset Liverpool. No, don't.
I'm a Mancunian, so I can't comment on Liverpool without it being tainted with that, and I don't want to do...
Who hasn't upset Liverpool?
Well...
I mean, they get upset by a lot of things.
But to be honest, they've been a butt of a lot of jokes, so...
I'm not upset. I don't think I upset
jokes and less than funny jokes.
I learnt quite early on, never diss a region.
No.
Because you get,
Well, also, it's daft, isn't it?
Well, I mean... Some are
Although
asking...
Coventry is the ugliest place in the world.
Wowzers.
It is, though, isn't it?
I quite like Coventry. Have I been to Coventry?
I have.
Well,
we went on a rag week event at university.
I'd forgotten the phrase
Remember
rag.
rag week?
I never did it because I'm not an idiot.
Well, I did, but I didn't really do it. I went shopping for records instead, and I bought a Monkeys album.
Oh, which one?
Greatest Hits, but it was like my entry-level Monkeys.
Well, there you go. 03459 455 555. Now, as we said on yesterday's show in quite some detail, Penn School has been put up for sale with an asking price of £6 million. The Rayners Special Education Trust called in the administrators in the summer, closed the school in July, leaving many parents struggling to find alternatives for kids with really complicated communication problems. The trust is bound by law to donate any profits to children with the same difficulties. Well, Amanda Burgess had a son who attended Penn and joins me now. Morning, Amanda.
Good morning, Ian.
Surprised to see the school up on an estate agent's website?
No, not at all. Not at all.
We knew it was going to happen, didn't we?
Yes, yeah. It was always going to be put up for sale.
When did you find out about it?
Yesterday, actually. To be honest, I've kind of put my head down, focusing on my son and my family, on my work, and trying to put the summer behind us.
Yeah.
So to be honest, no, I didn't know until yesterday.
And how did you feel?
Well, to be honest, it makes me feel sick. Yeah. The whole thing, every time I think about Penn and what they've done and what's happened, I feel physically sick, because we're still living with the impact of that and the implications of what happened. And I know families are having a much worse time than I am, and some of the staff are having horrific times. And to think that it boils down to money. But we knew that, didn't we? We knew that back in the summer, it boiled down to money. So there we are.
The thing, and again, we're not suggesting there's any impropriety. The thing that we discovered that was different from yesterday is that the trust, the Rayners Special Education Trust, if they make any profits from the sale, it has to go into helping young people who've got the same difficulties. So it's not as if there are going to be people sat back lighting cigars with £50 notes.
No, absolutely. I mean, the trustees will not personally benefit from it at all, and rightly so. I mean, I would really like to know their thoughts on where this money will go, because if a developer buys it, they're going to be buying it not to put a school on the site generally. They'll be buying it to make it a luxury hotel or accommodation with nice houses. I mean, the grounds are beautiful. I mean, there's no denying it would make a lovely, lovely place to live.
Oh, there's some great aerial photos on the website. It's stunning, isn't it?
Oh, it's absolutely beautiful. And that's partly why the school was so amazing, because the children had access, free range to that lovely land. They were able to be themselves. They were able to to play and have space, where in the community they don't ever get that freedom. They're always having to be, more confined. So yeah, that's why it was amazing. So yeah, it's going to be a beautiful place for somebody to buy. What I would love, and I hope, is there is a developer out there who is able to buy the site and will be able to, in that land, be able to put a special needs school on that site for children like ours that have lost a place, because there is such a high need across this area. There is such a high need across the country. As you know, and I've said many times on your show, my son is now 130 miles away from home from us, and why is that? Because there's no provision. And the government are shutting everything. There's another school in Royston that has been threatened with closure. And in September, and they've been given 6 months' notice. Whether that will happen, I don't know, but I know somebody whose son is there, and that is due to close in March. And there's everything is being shut for special needs. Doesn't matter what need, but for deaf and speech, communication and language needs, there is such little provision. So I desperately hope, whoever buys that land will be looking at putting a school in that, and the Rayners Trust putting that profit, which I don't know will be got to be at least 3 million, I would have said, back into building and running a school.
How's your boy doing? You say he's 150 odd miles away. How's he getting on?
He's doing okay now. The school is absolutely amazing that he's at. So we're lucky that we have found him a place that is really good. It's an ICANN school, and they are outstanding and have been fantastic.
Now, we're speaking to a head of an ICANN school later on. I'd never heard of them. What are they?
They are a charity. My son and a lot of the children that were at Penn came from their school in Surrey. They have two schools. They have a primary in Surrey, Meath School, and they have a secondary or an all-through school in Mansfield, and that's the one where my son is at. So a lot of the children went to Penn. Meath was a feeder school for Penn. Yeah. So yeah, they're a charity, and they a bit like Penn was as well. So and they run these two schools for speech, language, and communication and Asperger's type children. So
and he's doing all right.
Specific. He's doing okay. It's been a very rocky 2 months.
Yeah.
We've had a lot of strange behaviours from him, and it's hard. It's very, very hard. And your listeners, I really thank them for listening about Penn for the last 3 or 4 months. But unless you've got a child in that situation, you don't really understand. You can sympathise, but it is the toughest thing in your life, sending your child away from home to go to a school, and for him to manage that. And he's turning the corner. There is a glimmer of light at the end of the tunnel. The staff are being amazing, and he's a lovely, lovely boy, and he's getting there, and he will get there. It's just going to take a bit more time, and it's a slow process, but we're lucky. I count ourselves in all of this as lucky, because there are still children who haven't got a school place. There are still some staff who haven't got a job or took a job because they had to, and are unhappy or have left it already. And I also know, there's one member of staff who's still sitting on site. He's lived on Penn School site. He's worked there since he was 19. He's in his 40s. He's being evicted, and I now know he has a job and he will be able to move forward. But he's had the most horrific time, that teacher, and I'm desperately sorry for him. So I feel that we've been quite okay.
Well, hang on a minute, Amanda. We've not looked at every option. How much money have you got? Because I'm just thinking, if we could, I've got a few quid in the bank. We could go to a good mortgage lender. We could get £6 million between us, couldn't we?
Well, we did try that. We managed to get about 11,000, and that money did go to 2 charities. Half of it went to ICANN. That was a vote made by the parents.
Brilliant.
To split the money, or by the donators actually, to split the money, and half of it went to a deaf charity. So the money that was raised by Amy, or who set the page up, Amy, she set the page up. We did raise just in the end
brilliant.
About 10,000, and it got split between the 2 charities. So that was some really good stuff that came out of it as well. But there's been some really awful things that came out of this whole process.
It's been a rotten time. Well, listen, I'm glad your boy's settling in, and I wish you and your family continued success and luck, and I hope everything goes all right.
Many, many thanks.
Thank you, Amanda. Take care. Bye-bye. There we go. 03459 455 555 is the telephone number. 81. I forgot the text. What's the text?
Thanks, Amanda.
What's the text, Dan?
81333.
We're the only BBC local radio station that says 81333. Everywhere else is 81333.
But that's silly. I like Carway.
Well, what's the difference, Catherine, between a triple and a treble?
All right, thanks.
She doesn't know.
She'll make a drinking reference.
Will she?
Sure. Catherine, what's the difference between a triple and a treble?
A triple and a treble what?
Huh?
A triple and a treble what?
What's the difference between a triple and a treble?
Well, I think one is a noun.
Okay, well, you suck the fun out of this.
What? Oh, sorry, what, is it boobies? I don't know.
Oh, for crying out loud. It's me and Danny are having a chat about language, and you had to make it vulgar? Unbelievable.
Travel news for beds, cards and bugs.
BBC Three Counties Radio.
The M1 is still closed northbound between junction 4 for Hertford and 6 for Welling because of an accident and the investigation work that's going on, and it's causing a queue northbound from junction 3 for St Albans, and there's a lane closed in that stretch southbound which is causing a delay from junction 8 for Hitchin. On the M1 it's easing off southbound between junction 12 for Flitwick and the Toddington services after a lorry broke down there earlier, but it's looking slow southbound between junction 10 for Luton Airport and 9 for Redbourne. On the M25 it's busy anti-clockwise between junction 17 for Maple Cross and 16 for the M40. And on the trains, there are 10-minute delays for Great Northern services between Welwyn Garden City and Hatfield because of power problems earlier on. Samantha Bruff, BBC Three Counties Radio.
Sammy, thank you very much indeed. 7:16. These are your headlines. The A1M is closed in Hertfordshire after a serious accident last night. The road is still closed northbound between junctions 4 and 6, although police have yet to release any details. A man from Luton is calling for his fiancée, who was injured in a fire at a Romanian nightclub, to be brought back to the UK. And a 2-minute silence will be observed across the United Kingdom at 11 o'clock today, Armistice Day. Bus drivers are excluded.
On Friday, everything is going to get a little bit sparkly. I'll be live from Elstree Studios as the cast of Strictly Come Dancing get ready for Children in Need.
You embraced the character, you became somebody else.
We'll bring you exclusives from behind the scenes and find out everything that happens on one of the nation's favourite shows.
I was totally transported into your romantic love story. You took me straight there.
So join me, Roberto Perroni, live from Elstree Studios for Strictly and Children in Need, Friday from 3, here on BBC Three Counties Radio.
Sounds like a lot of fun. Sounds like a lot of fun, guys.
Yeah.
Triples and trebles.
There is no difference.
So is one an Americanism?
No, not really.
Well, you saying that? Well, not really.
Okay, yeah, but we use them both as much as each other. We're all as bad as each other.
118.
Exactly. Okay, so one of them is used more in darts than that.
Yeah.
But apart from that, they're the same thing.
Definitely.
Yeah. Is that fun enough for you, or do I need to say that word again?
Just say it one more time.
Boobies.
There we go. Thank you. It's just anyway. I don't remember why we were. Oh yeah. So we're the only BBC local radio station that says 81333. Mm-hmm. Everyone else says the more sensible 81333.
8 to the 1 to the 333.
No.
Can we start saying that?
No. That's BBC Radio Street.
Jeremy Vine does that, doesn't he?
What?
It's 8, it's 1, it's 333.
What?
He says something like that, yeah.
No. You're thinking of Jeremy Kyle.
Oh yeah.
Jeremy Kyle does it. Give it if your dad is an alcoholic wife beater and you want to get a DNA test, then give us a call. It's an 0, it's an 8, it's a 3, it's a 4, it's a 5, it's to the 1 to the. He does, doesn't he?
Like a bingo caller.
It's weird, yeah, because he's about as classy as a flipping bingo caller. I'm not knocking bingo callers.
Bingo callers all offended now.
Yeah, well, flipping egg, not them.
They're all right.
Not them as well, right? So Dennis is in Dunstable. Morning, Den.
Good morning, Lee. Iain, I should say.
There we go. Yeah, and so it begins, Dennis. It's been great knowing you.
Goodbye. Anyway,
yes?
That young lady from Manchester offered to give us some lessons in Mancunian.
Which one, Catherine?
Yep.
Okay.
Because when I was in Manchester, I lived in a tripe shop, so I got a degree in the perfect tripe.
Never had tripe. What is it? What's it like? Is that brain juice?
No, it's stomach of the cow.
Beautiful.
I got a slap for a comment I made about tripe when I was a kid.
Go on, what did you say?
Slap. Well, my auntie was serving it up to my uncle.
Yeah.
And I went, oh, what's that? Looks like dog food. Smack in the mouth.
Beautiful. Is it tasty, Den?
Yes.
I'll have it.
Put vinegar with it, yeah.
I went, and I'm not going to say how much I spent on lunch yesterday. I went to one of the poshest meat restaurants, Dennis, I've ever been in my life, right? And I made the mistake of saying, I was going with a friend of mine, I made the mistake of saying, I'll pay, yeah, you've had a baby, I'll get this little treat, you know.
He didn't have the baby.
Well, I know.
You should send him some home for his missus.
And then I sat down and I thought, well, these steaks are cheap. This is a posh place, these steaks are cheap, 13 quid for a steak. No, it's 13 quid per 100 grams of meat. We had a lot of 100 grams of meat, Dennis. The bill came, no booze. I was like, flipping it. You couldn't. Let me just phone my wife. It was outrageous, but delicious.
Well, tripe was cheap. It was cheap.
There we go. Cheap and cheerful. Anything else, Dennis, before I cut you off?
No, I just said I was going to offer
go on then.
Teaching to speak Mancunian.
Go on then.
No? By gum, lad.
Oh, no one says that, Dennis.
They do where I come from.
I'll go to foot of our stairs. I'm going to side the pots. Oh, blimey. That's it, isn't it, Dennis? Thank you, Dennis. There we go.
I never said side the pots either. You wash the pots.
You side them.
No one says buy gum. Dennis is throwing you a googly there.
Hang on. I might start learning the sitar. I can speak the language. I can sing the songs. I can't play the instruments. Obviously, I can play the tabla. Anyone can play the tabla. It's just tiny little bongos, isn't it? Baby, play it with your thumb. Play it with your thumb. The crowd love that one. Why wouldn't they? It was a classic. Ananda Shankar. It's a cracking album. The Ananda Shankar Experience.
Is it a relation of Ravi's?
Probably. I think they all are. I once, when I worked in Pakistan, I was with Christopher Lane. There's a picture of the entire cast and crew, and I'm in there. And I went and took it to get framed. I lived in Kensal Green. I went to Willesden, and I took it to an Asian framier.
Okay.
Oh, right.
That'll do. And
a framer.
And I went back 3 days later to collect it, and the woman couldn't look me in the eye. the woman then looked at me eye. She said, here's your... I was like, all right, yeah. And the husband came up and said, so I have to ask you a question. I was like, oh, blimey, what is it? He said, the gentleman you were stood next to in that photograph, who is it, please? I went, so mate, Dave. He says, no, the other gentleman, the fat Indian gentleman. Is that Mr. Shashi Kapoor? I went, yeah, my mate Shashi. And he went, oh, sir, please, may we have your autograph?
Wow!
Yeah, ladies and gentlemen, yes. Because I'd stood next to, and this will mean nothing to most of you, but ladies and gentlemen, yes, I count Mr. Shashi Kapoor as, he may be dead, I don't know if he's dead now, but I count Mr. Shashi Kapoor as one of my closest personal friends. Mr. Shashi Kapoor.
He may be a late friend, but he was certainly a friend.
Very famous, big fat bloke, right?
What does he do? Or did he do?
Really famous, part of the... Well, he was kind of the head of the Kapoor family. Really famous Indian family. Huge, massive Bollywood star. Right. Massive Bollywood star. Big fat bloke, right? And he was quite old when I worked with him. And this is 20 years ago. He was in his 50s, late 50s. Early 60s, maybe. Could be dead, flipping it.
Let me check, shall
Google
I?
Shashi Kapoor.
I'm doing it.
I think he's still alive. And it was amazing, right? Is he still alive?
Yeah, 77.
Oh, Mr. Shashi Kapoor.
Gosh, he was handsome, wasn't he, when he was young?
Wasn't he? And that's the thing, right? In the sweltering heat, and it got to well over 110 degrees in the afternoon, he'd be sat there at lunchtime on a chair, and he would have hot women all around, sat on the floor, looking up at him as he told his Bollywood stories. Ladies and gentlemen, Mr. Shashi Kapoor, close personal friend of mine. That's right, me and Shash.
You must call him before he dies.
I must do. I must get in touch with my good friend Shashi. It's certainly much more fun than Big Christopher Lee was on that film. And there was another guy in there. There was another actor in there. Oh, what was his name? Robert somebody, who played... oh, gosh, I can't remember. He played... is Nehru a man in India?
Yeah.
Nehru?
Yeah.
The fellow that played Nehru was a right... He was a right one. A horrible man. And so
First Prime Minister of India.
That's the fellow. But not
and the collar.
Don't know. Yeah,
he
invented the collar. He invented clothes for hipsters in the 60s. I love good Nehru. Is it Nehru or Nehru? Don't matter. I love a good Nehru collar. Made out of crushed purple velvet, if you don't mind. Beautiful. Anyway, the guy...
Different from a grandad, isn't it?
Very much so. Yeah. It's firmer. And the guy that played him was an arse. And we would take great pleasure... Because I was working in the props, so we had to take pictures of stuff, and we go up to him. His name was Robert or something. We go, Robert, got to take a picture of what you're wearing.
Robert Ashby?
Yeah, that would be the fella. Is he still alive?
Let's have a look.
Just wait a minute. She's just got to search it.
I know what she's doing, mate.
Yeah, looks like it.
That's a shame. So, and what we would do is, Robert, Mr. Ashby, that's cool, Mr. Ashby, just going to take a picture of what you're wearing, just for continuity. Continuity wasn't my job. So we had Polaroid cameras, right? So while we're lining up the shot, we would build more and more extravagant ways of humiliating him in the photograph without his knowledge.
All right.
So the first one was I was getting a measure of the flower that he was wearing. So I measured it, but with my middle finger. So there's a picture of me stood in front of him doing that. Right? It progressed to 5 of us holding a massive sign made with gaffer tape that had the word in huge... I mean, it was about 10 foot wide. Arse, with an arrow pointing down to him, and we got it right above his head, took the picture, folded up, snapped, and walked away. We had dozens of those.
Oh.
Don't be rude to the crew on a film set.
No. I worked on Crime Watch for a month.
Oh, yeah?
Right.
You got someone nicked?
Probably. The actor. It's a bit, the number of people who ring in to dob in the actor from the reconstruction.
That
you go.
Happens, doesn't it?
It does.
My mate found he played a cowardly boyfriend who allowed his girlfriend to be attacked.
Yeah.
And his agent said, we've had loads of calls from people saying that you've committed an offence. It's terrible.
Yeah, they do that.
Yeah.
So, but I was working with, these were people who were in it for 5 seconds and had to wear a coat. That was about the skill level. But the way they carry on, honestly, ridiculous.
My fantasy is to be in a police lineup. Do you still get paid for police lineup? Hang on a minute, let's go back one step. Do they still have police lineups?
Hang on, my headphones are gone.
Sorry?
I think so.
gosh, Dan, it's just me and you flying
How-
solo.
how else
That
would you
happened the
know
other
it?
day to Tim, by the way. I think you need to kick it. Not Tim, the
Got it.
computer. There we
Got
go.
it. Did they still have what?
Oh.
I read your lips. PSAs?
PSAs?
That's what it looked like.
Public service announcements?
Yeah.
No.
What then?
Police lineups.
All right, yeah.
Do they still have them? Or
I'm
is it
gonna
all
say
digital?
yeah, but
is it all holograms now? Do you get like Jabba the Hutt?
No, I think you probably get real lifers.
And do they still pay? Because it was like a tenner a pop. The same price you used to get if you made a deposit in a
I was going to say
in a gentleman's bank.
depository.
Yes, same price. Yeah, 18 years later, one of them you didn't get a knock on the door saying, "Hello, Dad." You know, the other one you did. So I would love to be in a police lineup. Everyone go, "Oh, what if they pick you?" Well, they won't, and the coppers know that you're not the crook.
Or do they?
Well,
I mean, that might be the ruse for getting you there.
the coppers.
But they
know.
said that to everyone.
The coppers know.
Otherwise, why would you go?
Because it's a tenner.
But if you've done it, why would you go?
The coppers know who they want to be picked out. They want number 4. It's always number 4, guys. It's always number 4. Can number 3 step forward, please? Turn around.
Can you shout, "Oi"?
Give me some money. I do. I would happily be involved in a police lineup if that's what is needed to clear my flipping name. Then God damn it, I'll do it. 03459 455 555.
Travel news for beds, cards and bugs.
BBC Three Counties Radio.
There are delays on the A1M in both directions. It's still closed northbound between junction 4 for Hertford and 6 for Welling because of the accident that happened last night and the investigation works going on. It's causing northbound queues from junction 3 for St Albans and southbound queues from junction 8 for Hitchin, where it's closed at one lane. It's closed between junction 6 for Welling and 4 for Hertford. On the M40 into London, the exit slip road at junction 2 for Beaconsfield being partially blocked by a vehicle that's broken down. And in Bromham, on Bromham Road, it's very slow eastbound between the A428 and Shakespeare Road. On the M1 southbound, it's busy from junction 13 for Bedford towards junction 12 for Flitwick. And on the trains, Great Northern are reporting 10-minute delays between Welwyn Garden City and Hatfield because of power problems earlier. Samantha Brough, BBC Three Counties Radio.
Across beds, hearts and bugs.
This is BBC Three Counties Radio.
It's 7:30. I'm Simon Oxley. The A1M is closed in Hertfordshire after a serious accident last night. The road was closed in both directions between junctions 4 and 6 at around 8 o'clock. The motorway is now reopened southbound, but the Highways Agency said the northbound stretch could be closed until 10 o'clock this morning. Hertfordshire Police have so far not released any details. Supermarket chain Sainsbury's has reported a fall in profits of nearly 18% in the last 6 months. And a 2-minute silence will be observed across the United Kingdom at 11 o'clock today, Armistice Day. Meanwhile, a bus driver who disrupted a remembrance service on Sunday in Cranfield in Bedfordshire has been suspended.
Three Counties Sport.
BBC Three Counties Radio.
One of the heads of Russian athletics has acknowledged the country does have a problem with doping. Mikhail Butov, the General Secretary of the All-Russia Athletic Federation, was responding to the damning report by an independent commission which accused his country's sportsmen and women of widespread cheating. More from Richard Lister.
Russian officials have been angrily dismissive of the allegations made by a World Anti-Doping Agency panel. The Kremlin's called them groundless. But in what appeared to be a change in tone, Mikhail Butov told Newsnight that Russia knew it had a problem with doping. He blamed what he called the mentality of many coaches and said Russia's Athletics Federation had rolled out new educational programmes in April. But he added that to ban Russia from international competition, including the Olympics, would hurt a new generation of clean athletes.
In football, Luton gave a trial to a non-league striker in yesterday's 3-2 development squad defeat to Milton Keynes Dons. Vaz Karagiannis has scored 15 goals for Leatherhead this season. Tom Hitchcock and Rob Hall were among the Dons scorers at Stadium MK. Boreham Wood were 2-1 winners at Bromley in the National League last night. Luke Howell scored both goals in the opening 11 minutes. Stevenage striker Dipo Akinyemi has joined Aldershot on a 1-month loan. The teenager has featured 18 times for the Borough this season. Elsewhere, Blackburn's Gary Bowyer has become the 8th Championship manager to be sacked this season. And England's cricketers start their 4-match one-day series against Pakistan in Abu Dhabi this morning. BBC Three Counties News and Sport, the next full bulletin at 8.
Well, I'm not the kind to kiss and tell, but I've been seen with Farrah. I've never been with anything less than a 9. So fine, I've been on fire with Sally Field, gone fast with a girl named Bo, but somehow they just don't end up as mine. It's a death-defying life I lead. I take my chances. I die for living in the movies and TV. But the hardest thing I ever do is watch my leading ladies kiss some other guy while I'm bandaging my knee. I might fall from a tall building, I might roll a brand new car, 'cause I'm the unknown stuntman that made Redford such a star. I've never spent much time in school, but I taught ladies plenty. It's true, I hire my body out for pay. Hey, hey, I've gotten burned over Cheryl Teague's, blown up for Raquel Welch. But when I wind up in the hay, it's only hay. Hey, hey, I might jump an open drawbridge or Tarzan from a vine, 'cause I'm the unknown stuntman that makes Eastwood look so fine.
Here's the best 79 pence I've ever spent. Look what I just bought while that was playing. Have a look. Hang on. Oh, yeah. Well, I'm not the kind to... Yes, I bought the instrumental version. It's in a slightly different key, and I need to practice. I don't know the words, but, ladies and gentlemen, the instrumental version of the Fall Guy theme. Hey, hey. I think I can make that work. Let me practice, and in my next job, boy, I'm going to wow those guys. I'm going to wow those guys with it. So the they want to ban heading in football. Now it's only Americans playing football that want to ban it.
I don't know whether they're allowed to do it in this country.
Where is the
not having a little boy or an interest in football?
What's the problem? What's your problem with it?
What football?
Heading. Was it in the sun?
In the olden days, they used to head like proper, really rock hard, almost medicine ball type.
Footballs aren't like that anymore.
Exactly. But I still think if you've got a growing brain, or you're thinking you might use it for something else other than football in the future, you might not want to do that.
Or you might just want to grow up and get a life. You might want to do that. I don't know.
Do you bounce things regularly off your kids' heads?
Well, it depends. depends how quick they are.
Do you know what I mean, though?
No, I don't know what you mean.
Well, I just think that they've got very super soft little bonces.
They're all right. Hey, do you know the weirdest thing about babies is that their skull hasn't formed and you can touch their brain.
If you're not careful, you can put your finger through it.
You can touch their brain, Danny. This is true. Kiddies, because there's like a massive gap there.
What's it called?
Brain gap.
Your fontanelle.
Can you reshape their heads if you don't
like
it?
Yeah. That's why some kids have got funny shaped heads.
Children aged 10 and under.
It's true.
This is political madness gone wrong.
True.
It's true.
Have been banned from heading footballs after soccer chiefs was sued over concussions. Hello. There will also be restrictions on how many headers kids of 11, 12 and 13 can perform per week.
What? So someone's keeping account?
The changes being introduced in the United States of America could also include... Well, this makes sense. This isn't ridiculous. Could also include temporary substitutions for kids who may be concussed. Well, I would say get them off. If someone is concussed on the football pitch, I would pull them off immediately. It's all you can do, isn't it? Is pull them off.
Definitely.
Seriously, if they're lying prone on the floor, not necessarily kids, but if there's an adult lying prone on the floor of a football pitch, you've got to pull them off.
Magic sponges
got to get them off as quickly as you can.
Yeah.
Get two guys out there. Get two guys to pull them off if you need to. There's that great footage, isn't there, of the Greek footballer injures his leg. Two guys try and pull him off, and he's having none of it. He kind of wakes up and goes, what are you doing? They said, we're pulling you off. And then it all gets a little bit messy.
Can you do that against someone's will, though? Isn't that...
Well, I just think you've got to do it. US soccer. And FIFA and soccer and United States of America. Were taken to court after 50,000 concussions were recorded among high school soccer players in 2010. More than in baseball, basketball, softball and wrestling combined. What's this footage that's been on the telly today of Wayne Rooney at an American wrestling event?
Yeah, starting on a wrestler.
Well, could
flatten him, couldn't he?
You see him, the fella has a go at him, so he does like a little slap, and the fella does like a somersault in the air.
It's as if it's all made up.
Isn't it just?
It's just big lads dancing.
You can't say that American wrestling's made up, right?
It's entertainment.
But it is made up, right? And they go, there's that horrible episode of Louis Theroux where he says to American wrestlers, oh, it's all made up, and then they make him puke.
Yeah.
They make him work till he pukes up. Is that made up? But the thing is, no one's arguing that they're not fit, fat men in their pants, and there's nothing homoerotic about men in tiny, tiny pants and big boots jumping up and down and clotheslining each other.
That ballet's still ballet, right?
No one is saying they're not fit. They're fit, but it's all made up. You know, and of course there's exertion and choreography. It's skillful, you know, it's skillful, but it's made up.
And it is funny.
It's hilarious. There was one guy, I don't really follow American wrestling.
You astound me.
But my favourite American wrestler was a gentleman named Papa Shango.
Ah, the magic one.
He did voodoo, right? And he had a top hat and a cane. And what would happen, and it was incredible, and this is evidence, if Justin is listening, this is evidence that this stuff actually works, right? If he was losing a fight, right, suddenly he would do like an incantation, a spell, and he'd do like a little rain dance.
Mm-hmm.
The lights in the arena would switch off. The arena would be plunged in darkness for 10 seconds. When the lights came on, his opponent would be lying unconscious on the floor and Papa Shango would be stood atop him. If that doesn't prove that black magic and voodoo is real, then nothing does.
My favourite was Ravishing Rick Rude.
Oh, yeah. Was he the English guy?
I don't know.
There were the English guys.
He was supposed to be like a hottie, wasn't he? Ravishing Rick Rude.
There were the English brothers.
Yeah.
Called like Lord Britain or something. Don't want to be called Lord Britain, no, not now. But they were called like the British brother, the Lord Bulldog or something ridiculous like that. My mates were obsessed with that nonsense. Listen, if there was a proper American wrestling show on with like superstars, you know, like Hulk Hogan and well, not Rowdy Roddy Piper, he's dead unfortunately. But people that I'd heard of, and someone gave me a free ticket, I'd go along and have a bit of panto, innit?
Yeah.
A bit of panto, but
hilarious. What I like is when someone gets, I don't know, a stool or a guitar over the head.
Oh, do they do stools these days? Dirty. I think that's that film with not Pat Roach. He's a real wrestler. What was the fella? Mickey Rourke. I watched the wrestler on an aeroplane, not realising that in an aeroplane films they cut loads of stuff out. They cut like all the violence out.
Do they?
Yeah, they cut
I've
loads.
watched some quite racy things on airplanes and thought, I hope no one's watching me watching this.
No, you all right, Just?
Yes, boss. By the way, if you need a wrestler, I know one.
Who?
P.T. Staniforth, who's from Lucerne. He's a tough guy, and do you know what? I might actually borrow him one day to go on the streets because he is mean.
Why would I need a wrestler?
What, I've not got a man in pants.
I've not got a man in pants that's chasing me with a very flimsy balsa wood chair.
I'm just giving you an option. You're talking about wrestling. I'm saying if ever you need a wrestler in the studio, just give me a shout. That's not a problem.
Have you practiced your balsa wood chair, head injury, dazed thing? So someone's sneaking up behind you and you're waggling your head about.
Those guys endure so much pain. Were you into American wrestling, Just?
No, never. Do you know why? Because it's not real.
Yeah, it's a soap opera. It's a soap opera.
You know, if it's kicking off, that's great, but it's not real.
Some of those wrestling ladies. Just give me a second, hang on.
I'm all about that bass, about that bass. I'm all about that bass, about that bass.
Here's the thing, right? You talk about corruption in athletics, right? And about how Russia is. By the way, it won't just be Russia that's involved in doping. It will be every country will be involved in doping in one way or another.
Just maybe
Fact.
they're less subtle about it.
Yeah, exactly. Fact. You wait. Everybody is, their collars are sweating. Partly because they're nervous, partly because when you take loads of drugs, you become very, very sweaty. So you wait. This is going to be a brilliant story. This is going to get bigger and bigger. But talk about corruption in athletics. What about corruption in wrestling? Because I've seen every wrestling fight I've ever seen, right? Especially if it's tag team, one of the tag team partners will totally distract the referee and talk to him about something, right? Well, the other one's out of the ring, jumping on him, farting on him, stamping on his head.
Or my favourite, bouncing off the ropes.
And the referee doesn't. And the audience, the thing is, the audience are going, referee, look, and the referee's going, I'm dealing with this tiny thing. I'm looking at this wrestler's sprained fingernail. I can't look at what may or may not be going on behind me. I'm trusting that everybody behind me is abiding by the rules of wrestling. And when I turn round in 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Oh, you've just been stood there. Thank you, guys. Thank you so much. That's corruption. Every wrestling referee should be pulled off immediately.
It's all about the roids, and protein. It's all about the roids and protein.
Alan Toussaint has passed away. We played two cracking Alan Toussaint songs. We played What Do You Want the Girl to Do by Boz Scaggs from the Silk Degrees album.
Yes!
What an album.
He's there. He's on a bench, isn't he, by the sea, the front cover. Beautiful. Brilliant.
I remember buying it, right, as a punt when I was a student. I remember being embarrassed of that album. Because it's not hip. But man, every song on there is an absolute winner. Absolute winner.
I've said about this before. I'm moving into my new property, and I'm going to get a different album cover put on the wall from a different decade. Silk Degrees is going to be right up there. That alongside Phil Collins' No Jacket Required. Two amazing albums.
We played that. We played Southern Nights by Glenn Campbell. Alan Toussaint, a name that probably most people won't have heard unless they study their record sleeves. Passed away. You've done. You've got a little pack for us.
Yeah, I've put together a package because this man's music is absolutely amazing. As you mentioned, a lot of people might not know who he is straight away, but once they hear the songs, they'll certainly know who he is. Here is my tribute to Alan Toussaint. Alan Toussaint, quite simply, an R&B legend. In 1966, Lee Dorsey took his song Working in a Coal Mine to the top 10 on both the UK and the US charts. A fortune teller. Well, it was so good, not only did the Rolling Stones cover it, but also The Who. While looking at the fortune teller, I've been in love. Alan told the BBC that his love for music came at a very young age.
When I was about 6.5, piano was sent to my house for my sister to play, and she did not take to it at all. It started out a half step flat and got flatter, but it was the only one that I knew at the time, and I was in love with it, and it loved me. It was tender to me.
His other songs included
Southern Nights, they feel so good, it's a frightening
the fantastic Southern Nights by Glenn Campbell, and he produced the disco classic Lady Marmalade for LaBelle. Here's what the streets had to say. Come on, madam. We are Lady Marmalade. Can we have a marmalade? We are Lady Marmalade. Thanks. Madam, he has made some amazing songs, hasn't he?
Yeah, brilliant.
What's your memories of Lady Marmalade? Move your thing to that one, don't you?
No comment.
Tributes have been pouring in. Alan had been due to perform at London's Jazz Festival this weekend. Alan Toussaint, who's died at the age of 77.
Daily, excellent stuff. Tastefully done as well. I've just seen what that's brilliant. Thank you for that, Matt. I've just seen what the front page of the Sun is. The front page of the Sun is like a blast from night. Have you seen it? It's like 1985.
What's going on?
It's a silhouette of a man with a question mark. Right. Hollywood HIV panic. A-list actor's virus diagnosis rocks showbiz. Womanizing star has string of ex-lovers. They are choosing not to out a man who's got HIV. It's incredible. Wow. It's like
they're trying to force him out, though.
They're trying to force him out. It's incredible. awful.
If you read it, it says that he's known for some time. I suspect the women that he's been involved with have known for some time as well. Why do they need to make this a scandal?
It's a staggering phrase. It is like 1985. It's awful. Anyway, Delia, I was thinking, there's a great story here, page 3 of the Sun.
Oh, yeah.
Holy... I don't even know what this word is. Molery. Oh, OK. Children are cashing in on booming economy by getting up to 20 quid. 20 quid from the Tooth Fairy for a lost Nasher.
No. Tooth fairies are tiny. They can just about carry a pound.
More than a quarter of parents say instead of small change, £5 notes and more are being left under pillows. But one of the parents at our school said that their kid's first tooth came out. They got a £5 for the first one, and then it's £1 after that. Oh, blimey. It's a quid. It's a quid in our house.
Pound.
It's a pound. Daly, could you take that to the streets?
How much? Yep, no problem.
Tooth Fairy outrage. Thank you, boss.
Travel news for beds, cards and bugs.
BBC Three Counties Radio.
On the A1M, it's still closed northbound between junction 4 for Hertford and 6 for Welwyn because of an accident that happened last night in the investigation work that's going on. It's causing a northbound queue from junction 3 for St Albans, and there's one lane closed southbound between junction 6 for Welwyn and 4 for Hertford, which is causing a southbound queue from junction 8 for Hitchin. On the M40 into London, a lane's closed on the exit slip road at junction 2 for Beaconsfield, and on the M25 it's busy anti-clockwise between junction 21 for the M1 and 16 for the M40. On the A41 in Hemel Hempstead, it's slow southbound from Two Waters Road towards the M25, and on the trains, Great Northern are reporting 10-minute delays between Welwyn Garden City and Hatfield. Samantha Bruff, BBC Three Counties Radio.
Sammy, thank you very much indeed. 7:47, these are your headlines on BBC Three Counties Radio. The A1M is closed in Hertfordshire after a serious accident last night. The road is still closed northbound between junctions 4 and 6, although police have yet to release any details. A man from Luton is calling for his fiancée, who was injured in a fire at a Romanian nightclub, to be brought back to the UK, and a 2-minute silence will be observed across the United Kingdom at 11 o'clock today.
Beds, Herts and Bucks weather.
BBC Three Counties Radio.
Good morning. It's a rather cloudy start for many of us this morning, although some brightness managing to get through, but it is mild. Temperatures all in double figures between 12 and 14 Celsius this morning, and it's not going to get too much warmer, but temperatures up to 15, maybe 16 Celsius by the end of the afternoon. 1 or 2 spots of rain possible. We can't rule that out through the course of the day, but there is a brisk westerly breeze that will flow through fairly quickly. Overnight tonight, a little bit of rain pushing south and eastwards. Once it clears, though, post midnight, we're going to see the skies clearing, so the temperature's going to drop a little lower. Chillier night compared to the last few at 7 Celsius, and a chillier start Thursday, but some sunshine at last tomorrow morning. A bright, chilly start, but then the cloud returns tomorrow afternoon, and with it, some showery rain. That's your forecast.
Three Counties Sport.
On Saturday, Luton.
Benson right edge of the penalty area, gets the cross in towards McCoy.
And Stevenage.
It's with Pett inside the area, turns it back.
Return to league action after success in the FA Cup.
Oh, it'll come to McCoy, and he scored again. And McCoy in the right place at the right time.
And we'll bring you live commentary on both games in Three Counties Sport.
Shot from Schumacher, that finds the net, bottom left-hand corner.
Saturday from 2, here on BBC Three Counties Radio.
This is Iain Lee
on BBC Three Counties Radio.
So let's look at this story, shall we? Holy Malaria. I don't get Holy Malaria. Holy Molar.
Molario.
It's Holy Molari.
Because you're molar.
It doesn't make sense.
I know.
The headline's great. Pillow cash hike. That's a great line. Holy Moleri. Children are cashing in on a booming economy. Where's that happening then, guys? Where's this booming economy I'm hearing so much about? Where's that happening? By getting up to 20 quid from the Tooth Fairy for a lost Nasher. More than a quarter of parents say instead of small change, £5 notes and more are being left under pillows by the magical visitor.
That's only someone who didn't plan ahead.
In a survey, they cited the economic upturn as the main reason for increased payment.
The economic what?
Flipping heck. 2% of kids find 20 quid or more. No one's putting a 50 under there. What's a 50? Is that pony?
No, that's
Is that monkey?
No.
One of them is 500 quid.
Yeah, and one of them's...
What's 50 quid then?
I don't know whether a 50 quid's got a name.
No, it has. 03459 455 555 if you're Cockney filth.
Is a monkey 25 quid? I don't know. It's not my language.
I think. What's a donkey?
Oh, flipping heck. Don't start bringing donkeys into this.
All right. Meaning they can rake in at least 400 quid for a full set of feet. A further 3% get between 10 to 20, 9% receive a tenner, 12% pocket 5. It's a quid, guys. It's a quid.
Yeah, you want a lost and found.
Sorry?
That's what it's called, a pound. A lost and found.
No, it's not.
Yeah, apparently.
No, it's not.
Yeah.
No, it's not.
Or a nicker.
Is a nicker. I don't remember. No, a nicker. Yeah, it's a nicker. It's a nicker.
A cock and hen is a 10.
No,
I mean, who says this?
Cock and hen.
Or a cockle.
No.
Or a Bill and Benner.
Massive Benner. It means
Or an Ayrton.
London and the South East is the highest payments at £2.50 each. While the Tooth Fairy is more frugal in Newcastle, where kids get 1 penny.
What?
I mean £1. But despite their gappy bite, 36% of children spend their Tooth Fairy money on sweets. Oh, here we go. Do you know who did this survey?
Yeah, dentist.
Flipping dentist.
Yeah, one dentist.
Flipping dentist. Make me want to puke.
Pony's 25.
Well, what's 50? I need to go and get
50 is a bullseye.
Is it?
And 500's a monkey.
A monkey. Oi! You owe us a monkey, Arthur. You watch out. You leave him alone. Leave it, Terry. I've got this sorted. Here's your monkey. Here's your monkey, and there's a pony on top for your trouble. Now get out of here. I never want to see you here again. Blind Steve.
I wouldn't even give him a deep sea diver.
That's not.
Apparently it is. Or a lady Godiva.
It's not. It's made up. That is made up rhyming slang.
A Bobby Moore. A score. They're just making this up for Americans.
They are making it up. That's not proper.
Cockney rhyming slang, London's famous secret language.
03459 455 555 is the telephone number. As we.
You know why the Cockneys made up the rhyming slang, don't you?
So that the lords couldn't understand what they were talking about. Okay, who's got their
so
own...
the law couldn't understand.
Who's got their own language? Okay, I don't mean like Indians.
Right.
Cockneys. Mm-hmm. The Cockneys have got their own language. The gays.
Yeah, Polari.
Yeah, they've got their own... it's like back slang, isn't it?
Mm.
Ipsnay on the downsnay.
And all that.
So that's for the gay people.
How bona to vadia doliodik.
Huh?
Yeah.
Butchers.
Have a butcher's hook.
No. Butchers have got their own language. We've done this before, haven't we?
No.
Oh, come on, the timelines are crossing. Someone's gone back in time and is messing with me because things are changing in my head. Yeah, butchers have got their own language.
Right.
Butchers, phone us up 03459 455 555.
Why? I mean, you only need your own language if you're...
Snide meat, innit? Snide meat. That's what it'll be. Butchers have got their own language. Who else has got their own language? I think that's it. I think we've covered them all. 03459 455 555. A 6-foot boa constrictor. We've not played that for ages, have we?
No.
Don't know where it is. I haven't got it.
Do you want me to find it?
I haven't got it on this computer. I've got nothing on this computer. I deleted it all. I've not got any Beach Boys. Imagine having no Beach Boys on your computer. What kind of life is that? What kind of life is that? There's no life for a human being. Starve me. Take my water. Take my food. Leave me a little bit peckish. But please, don't take my Beach Boys from my computer. Oh, you have. A 6-foot boa constrictor was found just yards from a play area. Ooh. The snake, which could kill a baby or a pet, may have been dumped...
Or a squirrel.
Yeah. Kill the
rabbit.
Squirrels. Don't like squirrels. May have been dumped. Bonded with my dog last night.
Did you?
Yeah.
Did you sniff her...
No. We bonded. We had a nice little cuddle watching Simon & Garfunkel.
Oh, that's nice.
Yeah, it was nice. She stinks. I told her.
But you've just got to accept that.
Yeah. We were watching Simon & Garfunkel having a nice little cuddle. It was good. Enjoyed that.
Good. I saw a really dodgy looking squirrel the other day.
Oh, yeah.
It turns out all the cuteness is in the tail. Because this squirrel had no fluff on its brush.
They're drug addicts, aren't they, squirrels? They find drugs, like abandoned drugs in parks, and they eat them.
Do they?
Yeah, they do. Drug addicts will often use... And I won't go into too much detail of how they do it, but they cook up drugs on tin foil and then they smoke it with a homemade bong. Yeah. and it leaves residue.
Right.
And the squirrels, and they do it in parks.
They're always in those bins.
They're always in those parks. They do it in parks, right? And squirrels find this stuff, and they think, oh, look, it smells nice. It smells nice. You know, it's part of the thing. Drugs smell nice. They go, oh, this smells nice. I'm gonna have some of this. Hi,
So what
squirrel? What is it to be a squirrel? Look at my hand, man, your tail.
And they get off their mash and they become addicted to primarily crack cocaine.
Would it make all their tail hair fall out, though?
No. Guys, this is one of the myths set up by Frank. Drugs does not make your hair fall out.
Well, this squirrel, coming back to the original premise,
Yes.
had like a rat tail. It wasn't a rat, though. It was a squirrel.
Or it could have been a wolf in sheep's clothing, metaphorically.
Yeah, you're probably right.
Could have been a rat dressed up for Halloween.
Could be a rat that's confused.
Yep.
Could be a rat that thinks it's a squirrel.
Or a scrat.
A riral.
Dangerous game, guys. Dangerous game. The RSPCA do-gooders took the creature into care in Bexley Heath, South East London. What are you looking at? What are you flipping looking at? That's my little baby, right? It's my baby.
Where did that come from?
What you looking at? Madam, I'm the doctor. I need to look. What you looking at? Get out of here.
They don't like people looking, do they?
They don't. These are my family I'm talking about. I'm allowed to talk like this because I am their kind. What you looking at? Stop looking at my baby. Stop looking at my little baby. Because I will find you and I will make your life a misery.
I once
Leave it, girl. Leave it, girl. It's not worth it. Let's go. We're gonna go. But what? You mark my words. I know. I've got your card marked, Sunshine.
I once got Bexley'd on for saying "excuse me" to somebody. They thought I said it in a tone.
Well, there you go. The RSPCA's Anthony Pulfer said he was lucky he was found because it was far too cold for him to be outside. He was very lethargic. We are concerned he might have been dumped. If he has, that person had better watch out because we're going to find them and we're going to teach them a lesson they will never forget. Me and the boys from the RSPCA are going to come round. We are going to sort you out good and proper. Let's just say you won't be dumping no snakes near playgrounds ever again, Sunshine. Right? You won't be able to hold a flipping snake. You look like a snake once we finish with you. And that's a quote from the RSPCA. I think perhaps taking things a little bit too seriously. Let's get the travel.
Travel news for beds, cards and bugs.
BBC Three Counties Radio.
The A1M is still closed northbound between junction 4 for Hertford and 6 for Welwyn because of an accident that happened last night and investigation work that's going on. It's causing a northbound queue from junction 3 for St Albans, and the A1M southbound has a lane closed between junction 6 for Welwyn and 4 for Hertford, and that's causing a queue from junction 8 for Hitchin. On the M40 into London, the lane's closed on the exit slip road at junction 2 for Beaconsfield, and it's also slow on the M1 southbound between junction 13 for Bedford and 12 for Flitwick. In High Wycombe, the A404 has a lane blocked because a vehicle's broken down at the M40 High Wycombe Handy Cross roundabout, and that's causing a delay from the Marlow junction. And in Wendover on the A413, that's been partially blocked southbound by a two-car accident at Dunsmore Lane, and that's causing a delay from Nash Lee Road. Samantha Bruff, BBC Three Counties Radio.
Thank you, Sammy, and thank you, Linda, on the text. Yes, of course we're including body language. If you include hand gestures, bookies at racetracks have their own language. Yeah, they do the old tic-tac-toe, innit? And it's American for noughts and crosses, by the way. Who's got their own language? 03459 4555.
Local and vocal across beds, hearts and bucks.
This is BBC Three Counties Radio.
It's 8 o'clock. I'm Simon Oxley. The headlines: A1M closed in Hertfordshire, Luton man at bedside of Romanian fiancée, and bus driver suspended after disrupting Poppy Day service.
BBC Three Counties Radio.
The A1M is closed in Hertfordshire after a serious accident last night. The road was closed in both directions between junctions 4 and 6 at around 8 o'clock. The motorway has now reopened southbound, but the Highways Agency say the northbound stretch could be closed until 10 o'clock this morning. Hertfordshire Police have so far not released any details. The Roads Police Unit say they can only describe it as a very serious incident. A man from Luton is calling for his fiancée, who was injured in a fire at a Romanian nightclub, to be brought back to the UK. 31-year-old Dwayne Mensah has been at the bedside of Romanian-born Elsa Albu for the past 11 days. He says she'll die if she has to stay there. More from Gail Sanderson.
37-year-old Elsa suffered severe burns in the fire, which claimed the lives of 46 people. She's been in an induced coma for the last 11 days. Her fiancé says that at first, Romanian officials said they would pay to fly her back to the UK to get treatment, but they're now reconsidering that offer. He believes Elsa, who's a British resident and taxpayer, will die if she doesn't return home.
The Prime Minister is joining more than 60 world leaders in Malta for a two-day summit to discuss ways of reducing the number of migrants coming to Europe. Today's talks will focus on how to stem the numbers crossing the Mediterranean from Africa. Police in Watford say they're treating Monday morning's fire at a bed and breakfast in the town as suspicious. 26 people were evacuated from Phoenix Lodge in St Albans Road just after 5:30am. There's been an 18% fall in profits at Sainsbury's, but the supermarket chain still made more than £300 million before tax in the first half of the year and did better than analysts had forecast. A 2-minute silence will be observed across the United Kingdom at 11 o'clock today, Armistice Day, in memory of all those who fought and died for Britain in conflict since the start of the First World War. Meanwhile, a bus driver who disrupted a remembrance service on Sunday in Cranfield in Bedfordshire has been suspended. The incident was filmed by a member of the public who posted it online. These residents say the driver should have stopped and waited.
It's a long-standing British tradition that at 11 o'clock on Remembrance Sunday, everything stops. And that should include buses. And he shouldn't be hooting his horn at people because he's had to stop.
It was a job's worth. It was silly. He was told by the police to stop and he didn't.
In sport, a senior official in Russian athletics has acknowledged his organisation does have a problem with doping. Mikhail Butov, the General Secretary of the All-Russia Athletic Federation, was responding to the damning report by an independent commission that accused his country's sportsmen and women of widespread state-sponsored cheating. The weather mostly dry and mild, a few bright or sunny intervals, a maximum temperature 15 degrees Celsius, and you can get the latest news and sport online at bbc.co.uk/3 counties.
Thank you, Simon. The more I hear about this drugs scandal, the more I kind of think, who cares really? Who cares really? And Russia don't care, obviously. Everybody's going to be involved. I just kind of think, people want to take drugs, let them take drugs, man. I'm talking about athletics primarily. If they want to do it, let them do it. I would rather see someone, instead of, running the 400 metres in, what is a good 400 metres time these days? I'm going to say 45 seconds. I'd rather see them do it in 12 seconds. And if drugs enable that to happen, I'll be up for that.
I know, but what do we tell kids? How do I run like that man? How do I become a hero like that and get a gold medal?
You have to work very, very hard at trying to find a contact. That's what we tell them. You've got to work very hard at trying to find the right people in those locker rooms, in those gyms.
The base level fitness has to be extraordinary, though, to start with, doesn't it?
Because it's not going to be like, you're not going to get Dealey if he takes a load of drugs. Let me just keep that image in my head for a second. Wow. If he takes a load of drugs, he's not going to be able to run,
faster
the 100
than Usain
metres.
Bolt.
Yeah, exactly. He's not going to run the 100 metres in 10 seconds. It's you've got to be fit anyway. All right, I'm just putting this out there. I'm thinking out loud.
Mm-hmm.
We let fit people and artists take drugs. I've argued before that some of the best art that we've ever had comes from drug taking. Revolver by the Beatles, first example I can think of. Well, we let fit people and musicians and artists take drugs. But it's not bad, is it?
Well, we can leave it dangling for
that's
discussion.
But unfortunately, if you take drugs and you're a sportsman, it will not be dangling. That's the problem. Yes. That's the sacrifice they make. 03459 455. Hands up. Yes, miss.
But it will end up being a battle of chemists rather than athletes, won't it?
Yeah, sure. Why not? Let's take it to the lab. Why not? Why not?
Sad though.
Why? It's not. Why is it sad?
Because it's supposed to be, man doing his very best with what he's got, not with what he's got in his test tube.
Oh, is it?
Isn't it?
Women are allowed to run in the Olympics as well.
I meant man with a capital M.
Thank you very much indeed. Unbelievable. We even talk about women's football on the BBC now.
Across beds, hearts and bucks.
This is BBC Three Counties Radio.
Now, administrators have placed Penn School up for sale with an asking price of £6 million. The Rayners Special Educational Trust is bound by law to donate any profits to children with communication difficulties, the sort of children that the school was educating until this summer's sudden closure. Well, Janet Dunn is head teacher of ICANN's specialist school, Meath in Surrey, which provides a similar service to Penn. And we were already speaking to Amanda earlier on, whose son goes to an ICANN school. I'd never heard of them until now, and we can find out a bit more. Janet, what is an ICANN school?
Morning, Ian.
Morning.
I'm shocked you've never heard of it.
I know. Well, it's never been in my sphere, and, and now it is in my sphere, and I'm glad to learn more.
Yes, we're quite a small school. ICANN, the leading charity for children's communication, has two schools, and we're the primary sector. So we're a smallish school because speech language communication is quite a rare need in children. So it's bright children normally should be in a mainstream school, in a normal school, but their language ability through neurological damage is not working adequately. So their listening, their understanding, and their ability to talk and express themselves is delayed significantly. And schools are all about listening and understanding and speaking. So when that bit goes wrong, then you'll find it really difficult in school. And so there are specialised schools to help those children, like Penn, like ICANN Meath School.
How many children have you got in your school?
We've got 55 children, all primary age range between 5 and 11 years old.
Fantastic. Must be expensive to run.
Well, the expense is always, as in any school, it's around the quality of the staffing that you have. And because the ICANN schools have teachers, but we also have in every classroom a speech and language therapist, a teaching assistant, and we have care teams for the overnight children. We have a nursing department. So there is a high level of staffing of quality, experienced people because the children's needs are so high. So they are quite expensive.
ICANN is a charity. Is that right?
It is, yes. It's a charity, a small, medium-sized charity.
That must be hard work. I mean, part of the problem with Penn was that, financially it wasn't working out. How sustainable is ICANN? I mean, it sounds like it's a small, you've got a small school and the other school, but it must be tough.
Yeah, I mean, it's a business, and no business is easy, especially in the current climate. But ICANN has just celebrated over 125 years in existence.
Blimey.
And yes, and the Meath School has been here since 1982. There was a school here before that since 1952. So, yes, I mean, if you're really dedicated to your cause and you have people behind you, and we do rely on donation a great deal, I have to say. We have a fundraising team and we fundraise from the school. So, but if you're really passionate about your cause, then you make sure it works out for the children and for the families, because if you don't exist, Penn, what a shock and what a loss for families, a loss for children and for families here who would have placed their children maybe at Penn going onwards from us. That option's now not there for them.
Is that how it worked? A lot of your kids ended up going to Penn?
Yes, some of them did. Penn was very specialised in ways that some of our children needed, and it was in a niche, really. In the area, it was a niche education environment, and so its loss means that some of our severe and complex speech language communication needs children are going to struggle. Their families will struggle to have a choice now. So yes, it took away an option from families.
Is there a waiting list to get into your school? I don't know how many kids have these kind of conditions. I don't know. Is there a huge demand to try and get in, and you have to turn people away?
Yes, there is always a wish to have children placed here by families, because the experience that we offer from the staff, the types of programs, for example, we sign all day long, we use signing all the time. It's very rare to find that in other sorts of schools, so families are really keen to get the best for their children, and the specialist programs that we would offer here having so many speech and language therapists, having an occupational therapy department, that's really rare to find in other schools. So there are a lot of families who would love their children to be placed here.
And I imagine, and I'm sure this is not a possibility at the moment, but if you know things did change and your school closed down, it would be devastating for all those families, all those kids, and the community.
Absolutely so. I mean, we're not going to. Oh no, I've been in ICANN since 1986. We are strong and sound. I know.
It sounds like you could power it by your own willpower, Janet. You sound very determined. I don't want to get on the wrong side of you.
Oh, no, that's not. No, I mean, I think you just get the speech and language communication needs bug as a teacher, as I once was. It's really fascinating how you work with children who don't understand properly and can't communicate properly but are bright. How do you work with those children to get the best out of them? And that's what ICANN is all about. The charity is totally committed to children with speech language communication needs who don't get the support they need, maybe in other provision. So we're very specialised in that area, and yes, we do fill a little gap in the market, if you like.
What you got planned in school today? Are you getting ready for Christmas shows and stuff? Because my boys are coming home from their primary school and they want to show us the Christmas songs they've learned. They're doing all kinds of stuff.
I know. A fever's beginning to rise in here. We're a bit sort of on the cruel side. Our children get so excited and wound up that they then cease to learn. So we have the not until December the 1st. That's the rule in here.
Fair enough, yeah.
We sort of try and put it on the background so that we could keep on learning, because they've got so little time with us. It's precious, and we need to, do the best we can for them. But yes, come December the 1st, that's it. The whole place is rehearsals, parties, outings, really jolly things. I think today we'll probably take opportunity to be calm and silent around 11 o'clock because children need to remember other things other than Christmas, and they need to understand their world as well. So, but the Christmas fever will definitely be upon us, yes.
Excellent. There's nothing like a primary school, any primary school, in the 2-3 weeks building up to Christmas. It's the most exciting feeling in there.
It is. I mean, I've been in primary education all my years, and I still, to this day, as heartened as I am, I still get a lump in my throat when the nativity is happening every single year, because children... They show you at the nativity, especially children that can't speak very well or understand very well, they can be on the stage proud of themselves and doing something that's relatively normal for their families to see in a nativity. So even our children, it's very emotive around the Christmas assembly time. It really is, yes. They can achieve there very, very well in these schools.
Brilliant. Enjoy it. Janet, what's the website? If people want to find out a bit more about ICANN, where do they go?
They go to www.icann.org.uk
Brilliant.
or www.meathschool.org.uk. So, do find out about us. They're really wonderfully fascinating.
It's
and
nice.
If you want to.
Oh, do you know what? I might take you up on that offer one day.
You should.
Nice to talk to you, Janet. Thanks very much. Enjoy the rest of your day.
Thank you, Ian.
Bye-bye. There you go. That's what you want. Someone in education teaching whoever, whatever age kids, whatever problems they have, but with that enthusiasm.
She's brilliant,
Boom.
isn't she?
I'll have some of that, please. Nice one, Janet. Thank you. 03459 455 555 is the telephone number. I've just been back to the Facebook page. We posted that video of the bus driver on Monday. Was it Monday we did it the first time? It's got really nasty. The comments on there.
Which is a real shame, because that's not what the idea was.
It's the story about the bus driver who carried on driving during the Remembrance service on Sunday. And it's got really aggressive on there, with people having to go, it's disgusting, he should be sacked, people died for this freedom, and other people going, well, yeah, people died for the freedom to remember it or not remember it, or, well, I wonder what the story will be tomorrow about who ignored it at 11 minutes past 11. Do we do it 11 past 11 or do we do it 11? I don't know.
No, 11.
Should be 11 o'clock on the dot.
I think so, yeah.
I think it is, isn't it? Should be 11:11, shouldn't it? See, I don't even know.
Then it starts to get complicated.
There's a furore. But there'll be stories in the paper tomorrow about okay, let's see. Jeremy Corbyn will be spotted on the mobile phone at that moment in time. Who else are they out to get? Me. somebody. There'll be loads of stories in tomorrow's paper about people who ignored it. They've got no respect.
Here's a thing that could come out of the terrible, devastating price of war and what happens when people stop talking to each other. How about we have a day where we resist being offended or being pushed into offence or having a go at people that we haven't heard of before, but just feel it makes us feel better by being superior to them, by being offended and playing kind of offended top trumps. How about we do that?
For a second, I thought you were going to suggest that instead of a minute's silence, we have a minute of just talking to the person next to us, even if we've never met them. That would be awful. I could never do that. Never.
Travel news for beds, cards and bugs.
BBC Three Counties Radio.
There are delays on the A1M in both directions between junction 6 for Welling and 4 for Hertford. There was an accident and that's causing delays southbound from junction 9 for Letchworth and northbound from junction 3 for St Albans. On the M40 into London, the lane's closed on the exit Slip Road at junction 2 for Beaconsfield, and the A404 in High Wycombe has a lane blocked at the M40 High Wycombe Handycross roundabout. And that's because of a vehicle that's broken down and it's causing a delay from the Marlow junction. In Hemel Hempstead on Bedman Road, there's been blocked by an accident at Bunkers Lane, and on the trains Great Northern are reporting 10-minute delays between Welwyn Garden City and Hatfield because of a power problem. Samantha Brough, BBC Three Counties Radio.
Thank you, Sammy. 8:16, these are your headlines on BBC Three Counties Radio. The A1M is closed in Hertfordshire after a serious accident last night. The road is still closed northbound between junctions 4 and 6, although police have yet to release any details. The Prime Minister is joining more than 60 world leaders in Malta for a 2-day summit to discuss ways of reducing the numbers of migrants coming to Europe. And a 2-minute silence will be observed across the United Kingdom at 11 o'clock today.
Local Live.
Local Live is a live update service from the BBC.
Live news, sport, weather and travel updates for beds, hearts and bucks.
You can get the latest on more than 30 stories during the course of the day.
Video, audio and the best of social media for where you live.
You can have a much more dynamic, updated live news service than ever before.
Wherever you are, from the BBC and beyond.
1 or 2 showers working their way in later on this afternoon.
Local Live.
Milton Keynes Dons secured a vital win as they beat Charlton 1-0 at Stadium MK.
Online, on your mobile and on your tablet at bbc.co.uk/3 counties.
The M1 southbound slow going 12 to 11.
Local Live. bbc.co.uk/3 counties.
See what makes me sick?
Okay.
Cumberbuns. Dominic Cumberbuns.
Right.
What's his name? The posh...
Benedict Cumberbatch.
He's great.
Sorry?
He's great.
Why?
He's good. He's a good actor.
I did quite like...
if you did your hair properly and had a wash, you could look a little bit like him.
No, he looks like he's been hit with the face with a pan.
I look like a badly drawn Benedict Cumberbatch.
You do. You've got the same squinty, tiny little pig eyes.
Right, okay,
Piggy,
mate.
squinty, horrible, kind of the eyes of a murderer. You've got those eyes. Horrible, really, I mean, disturbing to look into. I'd hate to be any partner of yours, and every time that face loomed towards me, just like, oh, exactly that noise, Catherine, yeah. You got just like Dominic Cumberbuns.
Wow.
Thanks, mate.
Your absolute pleasure.
Welcome to the team, mate. This is what happens.
Thrilled Dominic Cumberbuns picked up a gong. Why do they call it a gong? Because it's not a gong. I was so disappointed at the age of 27 to realise, they don't get a little dong.
Dong.
It's a medal.
I've no idea. Is it because is it a hilarious way of saying it's a massive donking great medallion?
I don't know anything about his donking greatness. From the Queen yesterday for his achievements as an actor and his charity.
For having a job.
Do you know what he's filming now?
Yeah.
Are you talking to me?
Yeah, I know.
What's he filming now?
Doctor Strange.
Yeah, Marvel Comics. He's doing a superhero movie.
What does Doctor Strange do?
He's a magician.
Oh.
Flipping heck. So you want to watch a real film about a magician? Bill Bixby, The Magician. Watch that. Bill Bixby, who was he?
A magician.
No, he wasn't. He was the Incredible Hulk. Dr. Bruce Banner. But he also played the magician in the TV movie The Magician, 1977. It's a classic, mate. Forget your Doctor Strange, forget your Dominic Cumberbuns, go and watch that. Go and download
Doctor Strange is good,
Go and download it from, I don't know, Networds or Torrent or something.
Is that a thing?
He's 39. He looks about 10 years older than me. You slimy little...
Jealousy.
Yeah, no, powerful emotion, isn't it?
Very strong.
He was made a CBE. Well, which one's a CBE?
Not as good as an OB, I don't
Yeah,
think.
exactly.
But still good, still better than what I've got.
I hope the bloke that played Stephen Hawking gets a knighthood.
Yeah. Well, that could happen.
Yeah, exactly. And that will teach cummerbuns.
To do what?
To stop. Just to stop. It really does.
Isn't that I think that's the phrase they use. Posh Benedict, 39. That's how the newspaper describe him.
I mean, he is posh.
He's Benedict. He's not 39. Currently shooting Marvel film Doctor Strange. Was made a CBE. Left at Buckingham Palace, where he was joined by his wife. Tasty,
hang on.
classy
CBE,
bird.
I think, is better than an OBE.
Tasty, classy bird, Sophie Hunter. 37. Not half. Last month, the Sherlock star was blasted for apparently saying F the politicians while asking for donations for refugees on stage. Yesterday he said... What did he say,
Ian?
Yesterday...
Come on.
He said he wants...
Yep.
Yesterday he said he wants to do good for other people.
Well, don't we all?
Flipping it. I mean...
I want to do good for other people. Was it like that?
That's not a bad impression, actually, mate.
Do it again.
I can't. I've got a sore throat. How it goes?
I want to do good for other people. You can do the best Dominic Cumberbatch, Kath.
I want to do good for other people.
No, that's Minder.
Ah.
I want to do good for other people.
221B Baker Street.
Oh, that's good.
I've never watched that rubbish, and I never will watch that rubbish.
It's good, mate.
We won't go.
I like it.
We won't go black, says Asda. Asda is pulling out of Black Friday sales after punch-ups over rubbish own-brand TVs.
They probably don't want to do a big giveaway.
The supermarket owned by American giant Walmart, who invented it. We've only had it here like 3 years. Mm-hmm. It's a horrible, horrible thing.
What's your problem with it?
Daytime friends and nighttime lovers. Hoping no. Why would it be at night time? If you're having an affair, you've got to do it in the daytime.
More questions asked, aren't there?
Otherwise, going to bed. Wait, what are you getting out of bed for, darling? Oh, I'm going to walk the dog. You haven't got a dog. It died 3 years ago. I mean, I've got to go to work. But you've been at work all day, hanging out with your friends, your daytime friends. You've not got nighttime lovers, have you? No. Leave me alone. Doesn't work. Got to do it in the daytime.
Also, secret hideaways are tautology. If it's a hideaway, it's already a secret. You don't need to say that again. Come on, guys.
Come on, Kenny Rogers.
Come on. Not thought this through.
He's not thought this through, and that's why he's got the. Have you seen? He looks like the House of Dr. Wax. Have you seen him now?
Yeah.
Awful. But after last year's chaos, secret hideaway, is that a euphemism?
If you like.
Okay. But after last year's chaos, which saw shoppers hands in the night of day.
You'd call it a love nest, wouldn't you? That's what the papers call it, a love nest.
But after last year's chaos, which saw shoppers knocked to the ground, it said it would not join in this year. Experts said... experts.
Fight experts.
MoneySupermarket.com. No, Super Saver... Oh, here we go. Ebony and ivory live together in perfect harmony, side by side on my... Who's harmonising? One of you's harmonising, and it's really
I got bored.
Putting me off. I'm not having that song now because one of you was harmonising.
Kath was humming, and I was just talking.
It's put me off. It's a tough song. I was doing both of them.
It's all about harmony.
No, it's not. It was about me showing my vocal range as Paul McCartney and indeed Stevie Wonder's. I was doing both of them. Didn't need harmony.
Oh.
They never met when they recorded that song. They did it via satellite link-up.
So much for harmony.
Yeah, exactly.
Paul just released it without the other bits in, just his bits now.
Has he?
Yeah, he sings it all now.
Has he?
Yeah.
Good for him. Well, the Barbara Streisand...
Paul. Signs Paul's gone a bit too far.
Barbara Streisand... Well, Paul McCartney, as we know, is a huge racialist. It's a joke. He's not. Oh, I found a brilliant thing, right? I wonder if it's on my computer. Probably not. I've got this CD version of Flowers in the Dirt by Paul McCartney, right?
Yeah.
Is that what it's called? And on there is a track I've never listened to. It's Paul's Message, right? This is flipping brilliant. It's 30 seconds. And it popped up on iPod Shuffle the other day. This is a bonus track on the Japanese version of Flowers in the Dirt. Paul McCartney's 1989 collaboration with Elvis Costello, right? This pops up, right? And it starts off, you think it's going one way, and then, like all Paul McCartney sentences, it just kind of, at the end of it, you go, so what? Okay, here we go.
Hello, Japanese fans. This is Paul McCartney.
Already it started off weird, right? Hello, Japanese fans. This is Paul McCartney, right? So what could he be addressing the Japanese fans about, do we think? In a 30-second little message entitled Paul's Message. Kath?
Meat Free Monday.
You think about Meat Free Monday, Danny?
Just saying thanks for your support.
I thought that's what it was going to be, right? You get the tone there's going to be a message, right? I thought it would be about whaling or something, right? And about him wailing on. But this is flipping brilliant. This is my favourite. This is song of the week, guys.
Hello, Japanese fans. This is Paul McCartney. I wish every one of you to do something to help this planet Earth.
Right, so he wants us to do something. So we've got a message, right?
Stop blowing off.
Stop blowing off. He's got a message, right? He wants us to do something. So it's not just a thanks for buying my album and the continued support. Let's not talk about when I spent 10 days in a Japanese prison for bringing that weed in Linda's handbag. So he wants us to do something. So that's what I thought is whaling. It's got to be whaling. Late 80s, Rainbow Warrior, Greenpeace, all of that stuff. Is whaling, wasn't it?
Mm-hmm.
It continues.
This planet is now suffering from various damages such as a hole in the ozone layer.
Do you remember the hole in the ozone layer? Don't mention that no more. Global warming. So he wants the Japanese, to use less aerosols and stuff like that. That was big in the late 80s, wasn't it?
The global warming and massive deforestation.
OK, so, right, he wants Japan to save the planet by using less aerosols.
Stop origami.
Stop it! Stop chopping down the bonsai trees. They're tiny little axes. The bonsai axe is tiny. Stop chopping down the bonsai trees. In fact, stop growing small trees. Grow big trees and save the whales. Is that what you want, Paul?
So please think of this for your family, for the people you love and for yourself, and try and get us to achieve love and peace and health on Earth forever.
Forever.
What's he saying? Turn the heating off. Is there an extra?
So hang on, he's going from, there's the hole in the ozone layer, there's global warming, there's deforestation, so just be groovy, man, love each other. And there's a bit...
Can we fill it with love?
There's a bit when he realises he doesn't know how this is going to end. He goes,
Hello, Japanese fans.
He goes,
McCartney. I wish every one of you to do something to help this planet
Already
Earth.
he's thinking, I don't know how this sentence is going to end.
Is now suffering from various damages, such as a hole in the ozone layer.
Here it comes.
The global warming and massive deforestation.
Here we go.
So please think of this for your family, for the people you love and for yourself, and try and get us...
That's the bit, the moment when Paul McCartney realises he hasn't got a clue what he's saying.
And
there, it's the end of a man who's lost in his own mullets.
Travel news for beds, cards and bugs.
BBC Three Counties Radio.
There are delays on the A1M in both directions in Welwyn. Between southbound there are queues from junction 9 for Letchworth towards junction 4 for Welwyn Garden City, and northbound there are delays from junction 3 for St Albans towards junction 6 for Welwyn. On the M40 into London, the exit slip road at junction 2 for Beaconsfield has a lane closed because of a vehicle that's broken down there, and on the A404 in High Wycombe a lane's blocked at the M40 junction 4 for the High Wycombe Handycross roundabout, and it's causing a queue from the Bisham roundabout. On the A5 in Hotcliffe there are queues at Leighton Road, and the A5 in Dunstable is also very busy in both directions between the A505 and Brewers Hill Road through the roadworks, and Great Northern trains are still reporting 10-minute delays between Welwyn Garden City and Hatfield because of power supply problems. Samantha Brough, BBC Three Counties Radio.
Across beds, hearts and bugs.
This is BBC Three Counties Radio.
It's 8:30, I'm Simon Oxley. The A1M has reopened in Hertfordshire after a serious accident last night, believed to have involved a car and a motorbike. The road was closed in both directions between junctions 4 and 6 from around 8 p.m. The motorway has now reopened southbound and northbound. Hertfordshire Police have so far not released any further details. Billions of euros in aid will be offered to African countries in the hope of reducing the number of migrants coming to Europe. EU leaders, including David Cameron, are discussing the crisis at a two-day summit in Malta. And a 2-minute silence will be observed across the UK at 11 o'clock this morning in memory of all those who fought and died for Britain in conflict since the start of the First World War.
Three Counties Sports.
BBC Three Counties Radio.
England's cricketers start their 4-match one-day series against Pakistan in Abu Dhabi this morning. England without injured bowlers Mark Wood and Stephen Finn, so who might get the chance to play? Here's Captain Owen Morgan.
We obviously have two left-armers within the squad, with Liam Plunkett and Chris Jordan also, who have different aspects to their game that might well come into use out here, because the ball doesn't move a great deal off the straight and you have to come up with different ideas, which is a challenge within itself. If we can get the ball reverse swinging as quickly as possible, I think that brings a different element into it. So again, the test for the bowlers is there as well. There are challenges within this series, and whoever gets the opportunity, I'm sure, will embrace that.
In football, Luton gave a trial to a non-league striker in yesterday's 3-2 development squad defeat to Milton Keynes Dons. Vaz Karagiannis has scored 15 goals for Leatherhead this season. Tom Hitchcock and Rob Hall were among the Dons scorers at Stadium MK. Boreham Wood were 2-1 winners at Bromley in the National League last night. Luke Howell scored both goals in the opening 11 minutes. Stevenage striker Dipo Akinyemi has joined Aldershot on a 1-month loan. Elsewhere, Blackburn's Gary Bowyer has become the 8th Championship manager to be sacked this season. And one of the heads of Russian athletics has acknowledged the country does have a problem with doping. Mikhail Butov, the General Secretary of the All-Russia Athletic Federation, was responding to the damning report by an independent commission which accused his country's sportsmen and women of widespread cheating. BBC Three Counties News and Sport. The next full bulletin is at 9.
Hello, Japanese fans. This is Paul McCartney. I wish every one of you to do something to help this planet Earth. This planet is now suffering from various damages such as a hole in the ozone layer, the global warming and massive deforestation. So please think of this for your family, for the people you love and for yourself, and try and get us to achieve love and peace and health on Earth forever.
This is Iain Lee
on BBC Three Counties Radio.
03459 455 555 is the telephone number. So, experts say that Black Friday could die out as other big name stores are expected to follow suit. It's horrible and it's common. It's people at their worstness.
A shopping scrum.
It's dirty. You're getting own brand televisions
that you wouldn't buy. You wouldn't buy ordinarily.
That's the thing, guys. We're sucked into the trap of buying these things because we think we need them because they're cheap. We don't need them. We've got a TV. What's wrong with your TV?
Save up and buy one that you really want.
Asda, the first major chain to quit the November the 27 event, said it will invest the 26 million quid it saves.
Here we go.
To provide wider price cuts for customers. Boss Andy Clark said, people told us they don't want to be held hostage for a day or two of sales. Hang on, people are getting held hostage?
Oh, gosh, it got really rough, didn't it?
What the hell is going on? Just seeing if there's anything else in the papers, because I'll be honest, I'm spent for the last 30 minutes.
Yeah.
We've not really had any news stories to talk about today, guys. Thanks for that. Here we go. This is a little bit of fun. Should we have some fun with this?
Let's.
Have a bit of fun with this. The home in the video for the 1982 Madness hit single Our House was sold for £565,000 in Willesden, northwest London. Bit of fun there.
Yeah. What was the headline? Their house. New house.
Madhouse sold.
Oh. They could have done a bit more with that, couldn't they?
Busted are back together! And it's all three busted! And the tall, lanky, blonde one's got dark hair! Charlie Simpson insists I like Busted. What was the good song they did? I interviewed Busted, and they were absolutely. I've got a side.
Was that them or was that McFly?
Which one?
Year 3000.
Yeah, it's a good song. That's
song.
a cracking song. I interviewed Busted, and I've got somewhere. I pray to God I didn't clear it out in the Great Purge. I suspect I might have done. I've got a signed copy of their album.
Oh.
Yeah.
Wow.
Although I think actually I may actually have chucked it out. These things.
I saw Busted or McFly once at an airport in Japan, and they were tiny.
Oh, then it was McFly. Because Busted,
One of them's tall.
The tall fella is flipping huge. Flipping. I mean, he's taller than me, and he's like a beanpole. He's a skinny man, but a powerful man, a very powerful man. You can feel his power. You're in a room and your eyes are closed. You're asleep. You know when he's entered the room because his power is just emanates from him. Just indulge me, guys. Time travel sexual fantasy.
When I came home at lunchtime, I heard a funny noise. Went out to the backyard to find out if it was one of those rowdy boys. Stood there was my neighbor called Peter and a flux capacitor. He told me he built a time machine like the one in the film I've seen. Yeah.
Time travel fantasy. To the year 3000. Not much has changed, but it lived in the water. And your great-great-great-granddaughter is looking fine. She's having some of this. Yes, she's having some of that. That is a classic pop song.
It was nice, yeah.
Oh, no, it's a great pop song.
Great.
It's a great song. I love that song.
Having a go at boy bands and another one and another one.
Charlie Simpson insists he genuinely meant it when he publicly vowed never to rejoin Naughty's boy band Busted. Let's just read that again and then remember the fact he's rejoined Naughty's boy band Busted. Charlie Simpson insists he genuinely meant it when he publicly vowed never to rejoin Naughty's boy band Busted. But 10 years after breaking literally dozens of teenage hearts by ending the group responsible for the songs, he's back. It's a dramatic turnaround.
It's a U-turn.
He made front page news in 2005 by turning his back on pop to concentrate on his metal band Fight Star. But the new dad, now 30... So when I interviewed him, he must have been 19. Flippin' heck. Shakes his head and says, I can see why someone would think I want a piece of the action after seeing the success of McBusted, but financial motivation isn't what this is all about. All right,
it's all about
Charlie.
the music.
Anyone who knows me knows I love music.
Yeah.
I could have made a lot more money staying in Busted in the first place. I wouldn't just do it for the money.
Just the money.
I think that's great news. Yeah. I love Busted. They're really nice blokes.
Are you going to go see them?
If there's a free ticket and I'm not got to be up early the next morning, yeah, I probably would.
I don't know. I'm uncomfortable with this. I think that they've had their turn. Isn't it someone else's go?
No. You're wrong.
It's a lot of people reappearing at the moment, and they've had their goes, and I think it's someone else's.
Yeah, so they're getting their second goes. Every band knows. We know the trajectory of a band is to be big, then for one to leave, for them to carry on a bit, and then to stop.
Peter out, yeah.
Then the comeback. It's all about the comeback. We know that that's an accepted part of band's history.
How long do you think it's going to last this time? 6 months? A tour?
They'll do a tour and an album.
Yeah.
If the album does well, they'll keep it going. If the album doesn't do well, they'll go, we've had a lot of fun, thanks very much. We'll probably see you in another 3 years. JLS will reform soon.
No.
Yeah. JLS will reform soon. Of course they will. And they make the money by doing, and they did, these guys didn't, but bands make the money by doing the farewell tour. Kiss have done like 12 farewell tours.
Look at Streisand.
Exactly. We can't get rid of that woman. We cannot get rid of that woman. I think it's brilliant. I love it.
What about Oasis?
They'll get back together. Of course they will. Of course they will.
You know, Alicia Dixon's had another crack at it. It's just like
Oasis.
No.
What? Mystique. Mystique.
No, just on her own.
And solo don't count. That's like Ginger Spice releasing a solo single, the one with the little aliens, midgets in the.
Oh, that was terrible, wasn't it?
Oasis will get back together because Oasis are the most cliche band of all time. They did the the up and coming young bucks. Then they did the Cocaine album. Then they did the we're going to get back to our roots. But actually, that was tedious. Then they did the Split. Of course they'll get back together. Of course they will.
Well, they will always be in touch with each other, won't they? Because they're brothers.
Well, yeah, they see each other at the parties and stuff, and
I bet they get on all right.
Of course they do. They're fine.
Apparently they do now.
Well, yeah.
That's what Noel says.
It's as if it was all a big con.
Isn't it? 03459 455 555. Mum Hannah Johnston went to serve a frozen meal she had bought and found a bunch of keys inside.
Oh.
You know Skellington keys?
Yeah.
Open any door. Any door, a Skellington key will open it. How does that work? How does it work? Because that to me seems... that was, as a kid, I wanted to be able to hypnotise people. I can do that. I learnt how to do that by reading a book primarily. And there's other stuff, but I read a book. And I wanted a Skellington key that could open any door anywhere in the world. How does that work?
I'm imagining it would be like a template key.
Huh?
Well, so it'll have all the basic fundamentals for... I don't know.
A template key.
Yeah,
I mean,
because some of them got notches in and stuff,
you
haven't
put
they?
two words together, 3 syllables that make no sense whatsoever.
Right, you know if you go to Timpson's and they carve you a new key out?
Yeah.
One of them.
Why would I get Timpson's to carve me southwest region of United Kingdom?
Oh, well done.
Right, you're very, very welcome. You're very, very welcome. I like Timpson's. They employ prisoners.
Mm-hmm. Second chances. Or third.
Yeah, well, although Timpson's could not... I'm posh. I don't like to go on about it, but I'm posh. Timpson's... they do the garage keys. I've got a garage zapper.
My garage, if you hit it in a certain way, it just open.
Wowzers, thanks for that. And I took in my zapper. It says on there, we do all zappers for garage keys. I took it in and went, okay, we can't do that. Sorry? Can't fix that.
Too posh.
Well, flip it, I'm supposed to get into my garage. So can't get in the garage. 2 kids are in there. Been in there for about 6 months.
Can you not open it manually?
No. Well, you have to go around the back. Don't. You have to go out through the garage. Yes, of course, I've been in the garage. It's a ridiculous thing to say. But I can't zap it.
Oh. You've got to go to a specialist for that.
Well, who? Hang a minute. Let's speak to Justin.
Morning, boss.
Who's gonna basically? Because I've got one and the battery's gone. Who's gonna make another garage zapper for me?
A zapper expert?
He's taking the mic now. Isn't he?
Okay.
He's
I think it might be.
What's Frank Zappa got to do with it?
No, I'm just saying that I'm sure what we can find you a zapper expert. And that's a great thing to be, I would have thought.
Yeah. It would be. I remember seeing those things on American television when I was a kid. You'd have these big chunky things that would open up garages and stuff like that. And thinking, wow, that is the future, man. That is the future.
Yeah, but nowadays you've got these multi-use zappers. So you can zap your garage, you can zap your TV, you can zap your hi-fi. It's a multi-use zap.
I'm trying. If only my computer worked, because I would be being hilarious and I'd be playing...
I'm sorry. So sorry. Please accept my apology.
Literally the best I can do. Bear with me. It makes sense.
Frank Zappa.
There we go, you singing. It's a Wild Man Fisher singing. I'm sorry, Frank Zappa. None of my Frank Zappa is on my computer. I really am going to have to throw this computer into the waste bin. 03459. Justin, can we come to you after the weather and do teeth? Is that all right, fella?
No problem, mate. No problem.
Muchos appreciatos. Oh, you don't know how Skellington keys work, do you?
Skellington keys?
Yeah.
No, sorry, I don't know.
All right, thank you. I just asked. 03459 455 555. Hannah, 29, had cooked the roast pork loin from Farm Foods for 3-year-old son Logan. Logan? Green people are Soylent Green. Oh, that's a different film. And some friends when she discovered the 2 keys on a chain. She said in Bury St Edmunds, Suffolk local.
To there, yeah.
I only thought it when I cut it up. Wasn't very nice. Farm Foods was apologetic and said this has never happened before. And that is the end of the story.
What was in it?
Keys.
Oh.
Maybe instead of roast pork loin, it was quiche.
Yeah, okay.
Thank you very much.
Travel news for beds, cards, and bugs.
BBC Three Counties Radio.
On the A1M, there's still a lane closed southbound between junction 6 for Welwyn and 4 for Hertford because of barrier repairs and emergency repairs going on after an accident yesterday. It's causing a delay southbound from junction 9 for Letchworth, and northbound it's all reopened again, but it's very slow from the junction 1 for the M25 all the way to junction 6 for Welwyn. On the A404 in High Wycombe, a lane's blocked at the High Wycombe Handycross roundabout at the M40, which is causing a delay from the Temple turn-off at Bradenham Lane. And in Wendover on London Road, it's been partially blocked southbound by an accident involving 2 cars at Dunsmore Lane, and that's causing delays from Dashley Road. In Hotcliffe on the A5, they're accused in both directions at Leighton Road, and it's also busy in Dunstable in both directions on the A5 between the A505 and Brewers Hill Road through the roadworks. On the trains, Great Northern reporting 10-minute delays between Welwyn Garden City and Hatfield, and also Southern trains have disruptions to services between Watford Junction because a train's broken down. Samantha Bruff, BBC Three Counties Radio.
Thank you, Sammy. 8:45. These are your headlines on BBC Three Counties Radio. The A1M has reopened in Hertfordshire after a serious accident last night, believed to involve a car and a motorbike. The Prime Minister is joining more than 60 world leaders for a jolly in Malta for a 2-day summit to discuss ways of reducing the number of migrants coming to Europe. And a 2-minute silence will be observed across the United Kingdom at 11 o'clock today.
Beds, Herts and Bucks weather.
BBC Three Counties Radio.
Good morning. It's a mild start across all 3 counties this morning. The temperature well in double figures at around 13, some places 14 Celsius. So the temperature staying constant through much of the day. By the end of the afternoon, we're looking at it being around 15, maybe even 16 Celsius. But there is a lot of cloud around today. We've been looking at the Weather Watchers website, and yes, there is a lot of cloud. However, the sun is peeking through up in Bedford. We've had one of our other Weather Watchers up there just posting a report card, and you can see some blue sky up there. Elsewhere, however, not so lucky. Hemel Hempstead, we've got Richie's Retreat there, our weather watcher in Hemel, which reports quite a lot of cloud around. I'm just looking at it there. And also in Quainton, there's quite a lot of cloud being produced there as well. So this cloud is going to be with us for much of the day, and the temperature, like I said, remaining mild. Could get 1 or 2 spots of rain in this cloud as well, most likely though over the Chilterns, over higher ground. Now overnight tonight, we'll have a drizzly band of rain push through. Once it clears, or clearing skies, we're going to see the temperature drop. So it's going to be chillier than it has been for the last few nights, 7 Celsius being the minimum. And for tomorrow, a sunny start. At last we can see the sunshine again, bit of blue sky, but it's short-lived as the cloud increases throughout tomorrow morning, bringing some showery rain tomorrow afternoon and evening. Maximum temperature though staying mild at 15 Celsius. That's your forecast.
Thank you very much indeed. Neil Stuke follows me on Twitter. Did you aware of Neil Stuke?
No.
Google him, you'll recognise him. He follows me on Twitter. He's famous.
Oh. What's he after?
I don't know. Hopefully he wants me to appear in Series 4 of Silk. That's what I'm hoping.
BBC Three Counties Radio.
We all know that the weather can be sunny and bright in one place, and just down the road it's blowing a gale, which is where BBC Weather Watchers comes in, your chance to join the nation's favourite conversation and share the weather where you are.
A new website that lets you tell the nation and your neighbours exactly what's going on. Get digitally creative and build a unique record day by day.
You'll hear the latest from Weather Watchers on BBC Three Counties Radio.
And you may even see your picture at 6:30 on Look East on BBC One.
To become a BBC Weather Watcher, simply sign in online at bbc.co.uk/weatherwatchers.
BBC, make it digital.
BBC Three Counties Radio.
More importantly, I'm also followed by Morph and Dave Benson Phillips.
This is Iain Lee.
On BBC Three Counties Radio.
Right, Justin!
Player!
Hello. Oh, hang on a second. Julian's up. Morning, Julian!
Morning, how are you?
I've been better. I'm bunged up today. I'm a bit bunged up, Jules.
Oh, never mind. You need some crystals you buy at the chemist. Put it in hot water with a towel over your head and breathe it in.
Crystals? Crystals?
Mental crystals.
It does sound mental, you're right. What you got for us, Julian?
2 questions for you.
Uh-oh.
Your zappers for your garage, you're saying you're trying to get one fixed because it doesn't work.
I want to get one. I want to get one fixed, and I want to get another couple made.
Yeah, but you said you got one with a flat battery. Why don't you just get a new battery?
Is that? Can you do that?
Well, if it's got a flat battery, you can change the battery.
All right, well, OK. All right, clever clogs. The thing is about that one, it means only I can open it, not my wife. Also, the little clip that means it clicks onto your keyring is broken, and it's covered in pomade.
In pomade? Wash it clean. I don't know what your problem is.
My problem is called Julian. You had a second point you wanted to ram down my throat.
Yes. How do you say skeleton?
Well, say it properly. Skellington.
Well, it sounds like you're saying Skellington every time.
No,
I'm saying,
no.
I have the same problem with my 10-year-old daughter.
No.
Not that I'm associating you with a 10-year-old child, but...
Julian, I'm saying it properly. I'm saying, listen very carefully. I will say this only once. Inside my body is blood, gut, and my skeleton.
Yeah, okay. I bet if you get any other listeners, I bet they'll say it sounds like you're saying.
All right, Graham. I'm sorry, Justin.
That's all right, mate.
I'm angry now.
It's one
I'm
all
angry.
here.
Right,
It's one all.
right, here we go. You got a house? Do you live in a house, Julian?
I do indeed.
Ooh, he's got a house. Right. Okay. Well, you're up for the challenge then. How do you heat your house?
With oil.
Right. Oh, this is one of them. Have you got a big brick tunnel that goes from the living room up to the roof?
Yes, I have.
What would you call that?
A chimney.
I thought so. One of them. Bye-bye. It's a chimney, of course. It's a chimney, Julian.
Chimney.
Thank you very much indeed. We'll let him go. I mean, thank you, Julian.
To be fair, mate, he pwned you on point one there, but you pwned him on point two.
Point two and point three. Well, I would say 2-1. Point two and point three, and I keep my skeletons in my chimney.
I bet he says Dracula instead of Dracula as well.
Yeah, Julian.
Hello.
Prince of Darkness, Vlad the Impaler, lives in Transylvania. I want to drink your blood. Not bad. Put that on the list of voices on my CV.
Yep.
What's his name?
What, Dracula?
Dracula.
Dracula.
He's too big for his boots, that guy.
Can I ask Julian a question?
Of course
as well?
you can. Yeah, of course you can.
Julian. Okay. Julian, is it sausage or sausage? Now think about this carefully. Sausage. Yeah, good man. Thank you.
No, not swage. Sausage.
No, sausage.
Sausage.
God.
Julian, can we keep Julian's number and can we hand it over? I think social services start at 10:30.
He's in charge of people.
I know, exactly. He won't be by the end of play today. Julian, we're going to pass your details on to social services and we're going to get those children into a loving environment with someone who could speak properly, all right?
Absolutely not.
Thank you very much indeed. There we go, Julian.
I
liked him as well. Good sport. Good spunky call just before the end of the show. That's what we need. Daily.
Yeah.
How much, when your teeth fall out, how much does the tooth fairy whack under your pillow?
Well, I mean, the going rate back in my day was about 50 pence.
Yeah, 50p. Quid is fair. Quid is
what,
fair.
Even
dude.
now?
Yeah.
Do you know what? My kids don't count it up anyway. They just say they got a coin.
Yeah. Well, my kids understand money. Never too young. We've had this argument before. So what do you think it should be then, Dills?
Well, I think maybe what 2 or 3.
You can't put multiple coins under there.
No. What? Okay, £3.
That's
$5 at a push.
Listen, she's a fairy, not a weightlifter.
$5?
Yeah.
You're
it's the going rate. Listen, if it was 50p back in in the 80s, inflation.
That make it means
it's fair enough.
Inflation. If you follow that through, it's about 1,500 quid.
No, I think a £5 is fair enough. In today's if you can afford it, £5 I think's a good rate.
The thing is, because you do what I used to do as a kid. Then when you try and make your teeth come out early, you sit there going, I think I can get this one. I think I can get this one out. I just hurt all enough. That fella, remember that fella you met? Where was it?
St Albans. He pulled his teeth out. He pulled his teeth out for us because
he must be worth a fortune.
That's just because that's just what he does.
You've taken it to the streets. Just what people have to say.
I mean, you were saying in today's papers that some tooth fairies are leaving £20, which is absolutely extraordinary. So I've been asking people what do they think the going rate is, and also parents this morning when the tooth fairy has arrived at their home, how much has the fairy left? Here's what happened.
50p everyone I used to pay.
Nowadays, some kids are getting £20.
You serious?
I'm being serious, yeah.
That's a joke.
£20 per tooth.
disgusting.
What's happened to this country, madam?
Awful. That's awful.
How much do you think, madam, that some tooth fairies are leaving for children these days?
I haven't got a clue.
Come on, take a wild guess.
Quid.
20.
Quid. Joke. No, that's too much.
Madam, the going rate in your house, the tooth fairy, what does the tooth fairy leave in your house?
50 pence per tooth. That's it.
Can I be honest with you?
Yes, of course.
That is tight as.
I don't think it is at all. I mean, it's about the fantasy, it's about a fairy coming to see you. It's not about the money.
Some fairies are handing out £20. They're handing out notes and you're handing out 50 pence.
I think that's outrageous, £20. What's that doing to our children? It's increasing their expectations of getting something for nothing when actually they should learn the value of money and earn it themselves.
Madam, you're here with your young daughter this morning?
Yeah.
How old's your daughter?
She's 3.
3 years old. OK. When the tooth fairy turned up at your house, how much did the tooth fairy leave?
Usually £1.
Some tooth fairies, I can't say this too loudly in case your daughter hears me, but some tooth fairies are handing out £20 notes.
They've got far too much money then. Far too much money.
Boss, when the tooth fairy turned up at your gaff, how much did she leave?
£5.
Some tooth fairies, they're turning up at households and they're handing out £20.
Jesus.
Yeah, well, that exactly. I think he's involved in the deal. Justin, excellent stuff. Mark Scheimler's just tweeted us, and this should have been today's show, Mark. I don't know why you didn't tweet us. Mark Scheimler, member of the Green Party, of course, for Welling Hatfield. Legend. He's tweeted, please join us at Luton War Memorial at 11 a.m. today, holding peace in your heart. And he's a picture of a wreath, I imagine, that he has put there. So it's a green wreath with white poppies. Now, I don't have a problem with the white poppies at all. I know a lot of people do. And a lot of people will be offended that white poppies have been put next to red poppies on a memorial in Luton. I don't have a problem with the white poppies. The thing that I can understand why people might get upset about is in the middle of the wreath, Justin, it says, Syria, not our war. Now, I'm wondering if even me and my big gob, memorials, war memorials on Remembrance Day, are they really the place? And I don't know, I'm just thinking, are they really the place to be making political statements about Syrian wars?
Not for me personally, but that's just my personal view.
Daily cracking stuff, mate. Speak to you in another life. That's an odd one, isn't it, Catherine? It's literally just come in. That would have been today's show.
I see the photograph. I would like to know some context.
Maybe we'll have a look at that tomorrow. Do you know what? Let's I bag that. We'll have that one for tomorrow. Maybe we'll speak to him because I just think, whether you adhere to the 2-minute silence or not, whether you wear the poppy or not, or you choose to wear a white poppy, don't have a problem with a white poppy. I wouldn't be brave enough to wear it because I know I'd get flack, but I appreciate the sentiment of it. But putting a wreath up that says Syria, not our war, that just seems to me, and I'm just thinking out loud, I don't, I'd have to analyse it a bit better. It just seems a little bit inappropriate. We'll discuss that tomorrow. No doubt we'll discuss the fallout of the remembrance.
Have you got time for a quick word with Hilda?
I've got 20 seconds. Yes, Hilda?
How do you spell that thing that sits on top of your roof?
Chimney. Chimney.
So why do you pronounce it chimney and not chimney?
I bet you pronounce February without the R.
No.
Oh, no.
Travel news for beds, cards and bugs.
BBC Three Counties Radio.
There are still delays on the A1M. It's very slow southbound from junction 7 for Stevenage to 4 for Welwyn Garden City. And northbound there are queues from the M25 towards junction 6 for Welwyn after an accident closed the road overnight. On the M40 into London, the exit slip roads reopened at junction 2 for Beaconsfield. But in High Wycombe on the A404, there's still a lane blocked at the M40 junction 4 for the High Wycombe Handycross roundabout. It's causing delays on the approach from the Temple turn-off. In Wendover, London Road has queues because it's partially blocked southbound at the Dunsmore Lane, which is causing a delay from Nash Lee Road. And on the trains, Great Northern have 10-minute delays between Welwyn Garden City and Hatfield, and disruption through Watford Junction. Samantha Bruff, BBC Three Counties Radio.
Thank you, Sammy. Sorry, I lost track of the time. I'm 5 seconds late. Well, guys, I'm off to London. Need anything? It's been a gas. Ta-ta.
local and vocal across beds, hearts and bucks.
This is BBC Three Counties Radio.
Thank you, Iain. Good morning. Welcome to the JVS show. I'm Jonathan Vernon-Smith. It's Wednesday. It's 9 o'clock. And on today's Big Phone In, do you think it's acceptable for women to take their babies to work? Scottish National Party MP Alison Thewlis wants the right to take her baby into Parliament and breastfeed during political debates. She's already breastfed her baby during committee meetings at Glasgow Council, and she says nobody batted an eyelid. Now she wants more women to feel comfortable breastfeeding their babies at work. Well, I want to know from you, do you think women should be allowed to take their babies to work? And if they want to, breastfeed them. Pick up the phone, come on and have yours. Say, here's my telephone number. It's 03459 455 555.
This is the JVS show.
On BBC Three Counties Radio.
I'll take your call in just a second, but first let's get the latest BBC News at 9 o'clock. Here's Simon Oxley.
The headlines: motorcyclist killed on the A1 in Hertfordshire, David Cameron attending summit on migrants crisis, and Bedfordshire police urge robbery victims not to fight back.
BBC Three Counties Radio.
A motorcyclist has died in a collision on the A1M in Hertfordshire, which closed the motorway overnight and into this morning's rush hour. Hertfordshire police say the collision happened on the northbound carriageway at the exit slip road for junction 6 at around 7:30pm last night. A lorry and a car were also involved. The rider of the motorbike, a man in his 50s, died at the scene. No one else was injured. Officers say the rider appeared to lose control of his vehicle and are appealing for witnesses. The road was closed in both directions for investigation work, but has now reopened. David Cameron is attending a major summit aimed at reducing the number of people migrating to Europe from Africa. More than 60 leaders from across the two continents are expected at the meeting in Malta. European Union countries could offer billions of euros in aid to help tackle the crisis. Peter Sutherland advises the UN on migration and says there must be safe legal routes for some people to reach Europe.
Part of an overall balance requires more legal opportunities as well as contesting illegal or irregular migration. This is not a one-way street. There has to be a balance here, and above all, there has to be a humanitarian concern for people who are desperate.
Police in Bedfordshire are urging shop owners and staff not to fight back if they're robbed. The force says it's stepping up its response after a number of recent raids, but is also urging shops to review their security and make sure CCTV is working. Police are aiming their comments at bookmakers and convenience stores after two robberies on Sunday. Tithe Farm Post Office in Houghton Regis was robbed at 7am, with the Betfred bookmakers in Leighton Buzzard robbed at 6:30 in the evening. Sainsbury's has announced an 18% fall in profits for the first half of the year to just over £300 million. It's the firm's lowest first half profit since 2010. The chief executive of Sainsbury's, Mike Coop, says it's a challenging environment.
In the end, Sainsbury's is the 75th largest corporation in the UK, but the 6th largest taxpayer.